Hey, what's going on out in YouTube podcast world? Never Offended Podcast. We're back. A little bit late, but we're back. Two of us.
Yeah.
We're back, but we're missing our we're back bitches part. Yeah. You probably noticed John's not here tonight. He's tired. I'm not gonna lie, he's tired.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, baby. I'm not tired of trying to make this thing pop off.
No. John had a long weekend, apparently out in the sun. His son had some basketball tournaments that he came to the lagoon after like 3 of them. They played 8 games in 2 days. His son's 12, I think, 11 or 12. He plays in like 2 different travel leagues, and he plays like tournaments like every weekend and then practice every week.
And I'm not mad at him because he's he's the next great white hope.
I hope so.
No, he's good.
White boys can jump.
Yeah, I'm taking pictures with him now. I'm shaking hands.
Get it in.
I'm doing all that now. Don't forget about me. You know what I mean?
This is like, I feel like some of my audience, actually a lot of my audience and this audience, my normal audience and this audience will convey with this. The life of being like a parent of kids that like play sports or like, you know, his daughter's in band and color guard and his son plays basketball and runs track, and you got one kid enough, but having 2 on the different schedules, and like most of my audience and people watching us got at least 2 kids, sometimes 3. You know, your neighbor Core, he's got 3 girls that all, you know, getting up to sports age now.
Yeah. Well, you know, for me, you know, my kids was like, oh, we want to play football. We want to play football. So I said, you know, no problem. Let me go sign them up for football. It cost me, I think it was like $1,700 for them to play football.
Ooh.
Right? So now you got to buy equipment. You got to do all this other
cleats.
Shit. Right? But then now it's like, okay, well, you know, practice is Tuesday, Thursday, right? Game Saturday, Thursday. Oh, I don't really, what do you mean you don't feel like going?
Yeah.
Right? No. Right? Because as a parent.
I paid how much for you?
And as a parent, this is where I get upset, right? As a parent, you don't tell your parent something because I love you and I'm going to go above and beyond, right? So my son, one day I sit him down. I say, yo, what do you want to do in life? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, here's this talk.
He says, I want to be a YouTube star.
Oh, man. Wait, which one is this?
This is Jaden, the oldest.
Okay.
So I said, fucking YouTube star, right? You know, but I'm not going to knock nobody's dreams. So now Kirkland opens up. We move here and we put him in Kirkland and we put him in digital media.
Oh, they got all that crazy stuff over there.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's like, well, why'd you put me in digital media? I'm like, well, you said you wanted to be a YouTube star.
How much closer can you get?
Right? He goes, well, yeah, I just said that one time. I said, well, no. You can't just say
that.
something like that.
Not when you get old enough, yeah.
Because I'm a parent. I'm going to dive into right? So now we're doing football. My youngest son, his game started at 7:45 in the morning. He had to be there at 7.
Ooh.
My second son game didn't start till 12:30.
No.
And the oldest one game didn't start till 5. So we were in this like all
7
day
till 7,
long,
yeah.
7 to 7. That's how I got the portable fan.
Yeah.
Right. And in the tent, right. We were out there like partying. I used to see 3 waves of people come through, right? You know what I mean? It was the roughest shit ever.
No.
It was the roughest shit ever.
No.
But once they said they don't want to really do the sports no more, I'm not going to force them to do it. But 2 leagues, band, this and the other, everybody better be getting a fucking scholarship.
Somebody better get something to pay back all that. Because if you do that over the course of like, say, high school, 4 years, and it costs a couple $1,000, now you're talking about you're at $10,000, $15,000. You got a couple kids. I'm going to ask my dogs, Kobe, what do you want to do? When you get just what you're doing, laying there.
Live.
You can't have personal calls on work time.
Listen, this is my mom.
Oh man, he's got to take this one.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Hey, I'm in the middle of shooting my podcast.
I could edit this out. I can crop this.
Everything's all right? All right, cool.
Ruby hung up on it.
That's not Ruby.
Ruby's grandma.
Ruby's my grandmother. That's Janet Kitchen, boy.
I was gonna say, what's her name? What's her name?
Janet
Garnet.
Kitchen, boy.
Garnet.
Hey, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, that's what she'll tell you.
Garnet. You know, no.
No, Garnet.
Garnet Kitchen. Emerald Kitchen. I don't. Could have been.
Nigga, just kitchen. But you're not even just talking about the 10, 15,000. You're talking about 162 weekends.
Yeah.
You done missed out of life, right? All this other shit, right? Like it's a lot to
John misses a ton. He's always gone. Like, and their tournaments when their kids start playing, travel. They're like, he's like in Bradenton or Jacksonville, hour and a half, 2.5 hours, like, and then round trip, 5 hours, and then 2 hours at the tournament, 3 hours. Yeah, it's like 7 a.m. He's out of here, and he doesn't, texting us at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. coming back.
But see, the thing is that you don't realize his son is good.
Yeah.
So you're talking about by the time he's 15 in high school, they may be traveling to fucking Iowa.
Yeah, it could be out of state. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, that's the plan. I think that's John's hope.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm just hoping John, little Junior, don't remember all the times I smacked him upside the head. I'm hoping he helps me out.
I hope he does. So when he only has 3 floor seat tickets, I always showed you love, babe. Yeah. Look out for me.
Hey, I gave him a pair of shoes for Christmas. Bugs Bunny Jordans. I'm just saying.
Okay, so you're already ahead of me.
I'm hoping I'm gonna get like the condo rental or something.
I mean, listen,
like on Miami Beach.
Condo, nigga, you're gonna have to put him up in the condo. You know what I mean?
No, when he's not at his condo, he just let me.
See, I tell people all the time. I was always saying I got 3 boys. Hopefully, I get one LeBron.
Get a chance.
I get one LeBron, right? And I'm not greedy.
Just one.
I want the first car. I think give me a little car or something. But I want 10% of that second contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you sign for $250 million, let me.
I don't want the $6.5 million rookie contract.
No, just give me a car then, right? Like you know what I mean? I don't want nothing from you there. Just give me a little car or something, right? But when you sign the $250,
we're talking about something.
You owe me something, babe.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need 2.5.
Yeah.
After taxes.
Yo, that was Jordan's mom when he was trying to pick a shoe deal, and she made him get the 5%. She's smart, like, "Don't you forget this."
Smart.
And so then, of course, he took care of her. Like, oh.
But you know who came out the best though was fucking Jason Weaver. You know who Jason Weaver is?
Oh, is he the manager? Was he the agent? Or
No. He's an actor. He's an actor. He's a singer. But he's the person. When he was a kid, he sung Hakuna Matata and all that for Lion King, and they wanted to pay him $1 million one time, and his mother was like, "No, we'll take $250,000 or something like that, and I want percentage
of the movie sales
and now he's set for life. But he could have took the $1 million one time.
That's crazy. That's actually a really good lesson because this is news this week. Taylor Swift bought back her masters. You heard that? So a lot of people, it was crazy. I read all the comments, 10,000 comments on a post. This is what people don't understand. When musicians get started, and this happens in a lot of stuff too, sports stars are guilty of this. They just don't publicize it. They take a payout because they don't have any money. So like Taylor Swift can go, okay, give me $5 million. And they go, all right, well, we get the rights to your master. She's like, oh, I'm going to get a quick payday of $5, $10, $15 million. She sells it, the rights to it essentially. And then later down the road, 5, 10, 15 years, that stuff's making $100 million a year. And she's like, well, that's not fair. Well, you needed money.
But you signed the contract.
You signed it. You signed away the rights. And if you had that much faith that it was going to make 100, 200 million, why didn't you just wait?
But that's not okay. So let's say this, right? You have a song, you're playing in a bar, right?
Yep, that's what she's doing too.
Somebody comes up and says, yo, I'm going to give you $2 million, right? But you're signing to their
rights
label.
Away. Yeah.
So you're signing to their producers, you're signing to their distribution, right? Yep. All of that. Now you're going to make money, but your money's going to come off of touring.
Yep.
Your money might come off of some merchandising.
Yep.
But now the new Nemo movie comes out and your song is #1, right? You're making pennies on the dollar.
Yep. You signed away the rights, the master rights.
So how many people get enough money like Taylor Swift
down the road to buy it back? Not many.
Not many.
Because they said it was $300 million. That's what she just paid. Well, and that makes sense because her masters are making $100 million a year.
Her masters are $1 billion.
$1 billion net worth,
like altogether.
So that's what they said. They made her only pay $300 million, which to me, I was like, that doesn't sound like as much as they could have got out of her.
Which means that's how much money she has. That's what I'm saying.
That's all she had.
Because no, what I'm saying is you got some people who's selling their whole catalog for $150 million,
Bieber
right? Or $300 million.
Yeah,
they said selling it all. They get nothing from it.
Bieber blew away everything.
That's what I heard.
And then he had to sell it for the $200 million.
Well, he blew a lot of things, but
yeah, we don't know. Did he?
It started with the Usher though.
It started with something. Yeah. Well, you see, his wife just sold her makeup company for
$1
$1 billion.
You see how it works though? You see how it works?
So it wasn't like they were broke.
They was never broke.
They said he pissed
Listen.
away all his money and was financial ruin. I'm like,
Yes,
what?
financial ruin meaning, right? If I was worth 750 million and you look at my bank now and I'm only worth 82, right? That's financial ruin in
guess.
white people standards, right?
White people
I mean, how many fucking black billionaires are there? Right?
a
I'm just saying-
lot.
A lot?
A
What?
lot.
What?
At least 20 or 30.
A lot.
At least 20 or 30.
A lot? That's a lot to you?
That's a decent amount.
That's a lot to you?
I mean, Oprah, Jay, Beyonce. Is she is that one or the other?
Beyonce's not a billionaire.
Just Jay.
Rihanna.
Rihanna now.
Tyler Perry.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Diddy was, but not no more.
No, he really wasn't though.
See,
that's the thing.
Damon Johns.
No, he was never a billionaire.
I thought I saw like 800-900 million or something.
But see, that's the thing, right? People have to look at net worth and worth.
Yeah.
Right? Because your net worth is all your assets together, right?
Yeah.
So Kanye, right?
Kanye was.
He says he's back. But
he ain't got that. The Adidas contract was his billion.
So I look at it like this, right? Kanye, one of his first songs or first album, right? He said, nah, wait till I get my money, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then you can't tell me nothing, right?
Well,
excuse me. Yeah. Was you saying something?
Yeah.
You can't tell me
true.
nothing. Right, listen. He got up to about $2.4 billion.
He was high.
Right?
He was real high. Yeah.
And then he said, fuck y'all.
Yep.
But he was smart the way I look at it. Now he's
we're gonna get canceled for that.
Yeah,
Kanye was smart.
In the sense, because he severed ties with all those business partners, dropped back down to 400 million. Oh, poor him, right? Poor him.
He's still crossing the world.
And now everything he does is off his own name now. So basically what he did was he went against the grain and everybody canceled him.
That's why they were mad. Yeah. That's why
everybody canceled him. So now every dime he makes, nobody wants to partner with him, but now he gets 100% of the profits.
Of everything, yeah. And it's harder to get business that way, but when you got 400 million, you don't care. You're like, I'll get it when I get it.
And you have a name already.
Yep.
Wait till I get my money right.
There's always people that will pay you because of your name. Like, because there's a lot of people that think he's completely right. That's my dog. I don't know if it pops up on the microphone, but I'm sure it does.
Hey, no, I thought Kanye just came a little girl.
I thought you were like, shit.
Remix.
Yeah. No, you're right. And once you get enough money, you literally, and I don't know, like everybody's level of enough money is different. Like you give me 10 million right now,
I'm good.
I'll tell everyone, fuck off.
You
Like,
know what I mean? You give me 100 million, right? Forget about it. I'm pissing in public. I'm doing all that.
All right, Diddy. All right.
No, I'm not pissing on nobody. I'm not R. Kellying. What I'm saying is, I'm just saying. Now, I'm a liar because what I'm saying is,
he would piss on someone.
I mean, listen. There's a lot of situations you do a lot of different things for certain. What I'm saying is like, I'm a humble person. I feel like the more money I would get, the more I would give away. But then you have some people who live for just getting money, and they would do whatever. They would sell their mama out. They would do whatever. And you're like, yo, you already got $53 million. Like, and you're fucking going to sell yourself out to sign a $100 million deal and then be mad when you're raped by everything, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. There are 23 black billionaires.
See? 23. You talking about a lot?
I forgot 2 big ones. I'm an idiot. Tiger. I forgot.
Tiger's a billionaire? I forgot about Tiger.
I forgot Tiger.
That was after the white girl took his money?
Yeah. She only got 100 million.
Only.
She only got 100 million.
Only.
At the time, he was worth like 500, and he had negotiated with her like 20% or something, like of whatever he was worth at the time, because they had a prenup. Yeah. So the 50-50 didn't matter.
But how you get famous and sign a prenup and put cheating in there?
I mean, if you're talking about reasons why divorce happens, what's the top reasons for divorce?
But if you are the man, and like that's what I'm saying. If I'm famous and I know, and you get with me, like, yo, I fuck with you, but you understand that I get a lot of pussy.
And if I do,
there's going to be some times
and you get mad about it.
But I'm still taking care of you. I'm still doing everything right. And if not, that's not the girl for you. Because why lie and have to do things and then get caught up doing something when you never had to, when you could have just been honest from the beginning or just be single.
Yeah.
So you got your boy, what's his name, who just got drafted?
Zion?
No, just got drafted. The two-way player.
Oh, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis.
No prenup?
No, $25 million contract, rookie contract.
We already know Shorty's
thinking about it.
She's a little loosey goosey.
She's thinking about it.
She's a very loosey goosey. She already done fucked with a few famous people.
She's
right?
trying to find her way out.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like how you don't, right? And I don't care who you are. If I say, yo, I'm worth 25 million, you worth 2,500.
Yep.
Let's sign this paperwork, right? And you be like, no, this time the other. If it's about love, then if it's not about the money, then what's the problem? If I'm telling you that if we break up, you get 10 million. What's the problem?
Yeah, that's more than you had coming in.
Right? And what's the problem? That means that you out for something different.
And you know what? He better figure it out before year 4 when that rookie contract is up.
Because she's thinking like how I'm thinking, right?
Let me wait till year 4.
Second contract.
Yeah. She's treating him like your kids.
The second contract.
So the other one I forgot. Not MJ. Magic. MJ. Magic.
Wow, yeah.
Magic's worth. He's in that.
Forgot about Magic.
He's in that investment group that they buy all kinds of stuff. They bought the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
And they own part of the Lakers.
No. He can't.
The Clippers.
No. He was part of the Lakers, but I think he got out of that.
But they own the Dodgers
and the Washington football team.
The Commanders. That's right. That they paid $6 billion for.
But you got to understand how Magic did it, though. People forget. Back in the day, Magic only put about $3-4 million into Starbucks when it started.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Starbucks,
yeah. That's where he got all his cheese from.
Shaq's got to be up there high too.
But you know what's funny about Shaq? When you look up his net worth, like it's like about 3, 4, 5.
It probably is.
But Shaq got his hand on a lot of things. So maybe getting paid under the table.
500.
See, 500, right? He got to have more than that.
Because he's got Papa John's, Icy Hot, Gatorade.
But that's only endorsements.
Yeah, $1 million a year, $2 million a year. But he's got like 20 of them things.
But he's got some kind of deal that he signed or something like that where he has to have like, right? It's something weird where he does like 30, 40 endorsements, right? Now he got in with Papa John. He bought Reebok.
Yeah. Him and somebody else. There was somebody else that was on the Reebok team with him, someone real famous.
It wasn't Allen Iverson, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was AI. Yep, him and AI went in.
Think about it, right? He said, remember he came out with the Shaq shoes, right?
It's on one of the cards I have for sale, actually.
Shaq shoes, right? But he said when he was selling his shoes back in the day, his shoes $150, right? And he was like, yo, I would never, right? Because he knows where he comes from. He was like, yo, I would never.
His kids used to be like, Dad, give me them shoes. We're rich. He go, nah, boy. I'm rich.
But he used to say, though, like, I would never want to see somebody doing all kinds of shit just to get my shoes. So that's when he came out with the Shaqs.
Yep.
Right? And then.
What were they, like $50?
50. Bitches would buy one, get one free in Walmart. What you talking about 50? For real.
I swear they were like $50.
So my kids had every color of them shits until they got smart enough to be like, I don't want to wear these no more, Dad. I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? Nah, and I'm a fly nigga, so I make sure my kids are straight. You know what I mean?
He tells himself that.
Shit, fuck out of here, bitch. Y'all see me on the camera when I be out here, B. You know what I mean? I ain't no bum.
Let me tell you,
I just know how to fucking shop. This right here, big lots, nigga.
Yeah. I'm reading down the rest of the black. Sorry,
you know who's another one?
Billionaire.
Damn, I can't think of his name. Baldhead dude.
Robert Smith, the Vista Equity Partners.
No, not him.
Well, let me read you down the rest. Just let me because there's only 23.
Yeah.
Okay. Aliko Dangote, Nigeria's richest person. Mike Adenuga, the head of Globalcom Nigerian Telecommunications.
But Africa's poor.
Strave Masawaiwai, the head of Econet, Zimbabwe's telecom.
Another African. Another African country.
Abdul Samad Rabail, BUA Group Nigerian conglomerate.
More in Africa.
Are we listening? Michael Lee Chen, he's a Canadian billionaire. Kanye, Rihanna. Tope Adawana, the founder of Calendly, a scheduling software worth $3 billion from California. He's got an African name though. Don't let him fool your ass.
Another one.
That's cool. I thought, Google bought that though. Google Calendly, where you could set up the calendars. I use that shit.
But why not?
He's worth $3 billion.
Right, you set something up, you get paid out.
Yeah, that's like Kate used that for. She did. She may still use it for photography. So she can type in her available hours, days. They can pick one and schedules and everything. That's a super cool app. Actually, I like that one. Mo Ibrahim is the Sudanese guy. Again,
Sudan,
fucking Africa. The daughter of Angola's dead president,
Angola,
Isabel dos Santos. Nigerian businesswoman
Nigeria.
Folorashina Aliki, printing industry, and Adebayo Angalisi, Nigerian businessman. That's like 5 Nigerians on the list out of
At
23.
least there was more than that, but
And the rest are out of 23 black billionaires. I would guess 15 to 16 are probably the only ones over here. Michael Jordan, Oprah, Tyler Perry and Jay-Z. That's 4. Rihanna and Kanye and LeBron and Tiger. That's 8.
it's got to be. What's his name, man? I'm thinking about his
David
name.
Stewart, the Worldwide Technology. He's bald as shit. Alexander Karp is Palantir Technologies. He's Canadian, though. South Africa's billionaire, Patrice Motsepe. He's the wealthiest black individual. 18 billion.
18.
He's from South Africa.
And that's crumbs
Compared to Elon and
he would
Buffett.
he'll hang himself if he had 18 billion tomorrow.
Elon loses 18 billion when somebody sneezes at fucking Tesla.
Byron Allen.
Byron Allen, is he on my list? I didn't see him on my list. Byron Allen. Byron Allen. He's not on my list. Who's Byron Allen? He ain't on my list.
He's a billionaire though. Look, Byron Allen is a billionaire, media mogul, comedian. Yeah, he's a billionaire.
Yeah, he didn't show up on my list. He's not. He might be worth $9.99.
They say it says $1 billion.
I see, I'm a big fan of I don't watch Billionaires because they operate in numbers that none of us, you can't do that anymore. It just takes Zuckerberg, pure luck and timing, right? He didn't do nothing special, just timing, just luck.
But all he did was just fucking take fucking MySpace.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do right now. I feel like there's nothing you can recreate right now. People make websites and companies all the time and make a lot of money, but there's nothing new. There's nothing
But there is.
groundbreaking.
So it's the same way you could walk up to all the Shark Tank people and slap them in their fucking face when they didn't want to fucking buy the Ring camera.
Right. But when Ring camera became a thing, there were cameras. People had cameras before Ring, but not many.
But not a Ring.
When was the first time you ever heard about a camera at your doorbell? Not that long ago.
Yeah. Ring.
So I had this house. I bought this house, moved in May of 21, came with a camera. When we
Yes.
lived in my other house, we bought that house in 2013. I probably didn't get a front doorbell camera until 2019. COVID, because when we got COVID deliveries, that's when I started getting it. So I've only known about a front doorbell camera for 6 years.
So that's what I'm saying. So things are new then.
But-
so some things do, right? You just have to, realize what is a need, right? Think about this, right? How many people had cameras at their house?
I got cameras all over.
Correct. And you would have to go check your camera and be like, who's at my front door? And then somebody put 2 and 2 together.
So here's a good question. Remember, we used to have to check our phones and not know who was calling us because we had before caller ID. When I was a kid, your phone just rang. You didn't have a cell phone. So you wanted a way to know who was calling you. So we got caller ID.
Correct.
And then when cell phones came along, they knew who was calling. So that was probably mid-90s. Why did it take so long to figure out how to tell who was at our front door? Because we always had door-to-door salesmen and solicitors. How come no one thought of it sooner?
Well, that's true. I think, cameras, right, have been around obviously forever, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But so has a cell phone. Why did it take so long for us to get a cell phone?
they had car phones in the 80s.
Correct. So all they was just using was towers,
It was satellites back then.
right?
Satellite towers.
So I look at it even deeper. People look at me and tell me I'm crazy. But I look at World War II, World War I, right? And you out there in the middle of nowhere and you put up this thing, you Mayday, I need you to do this, right?
Yeah.
And people go, oh, it was radio time. Stop it. That's a cell phone.
Yeah, it was. You had them walkie-talkies.
So that's how long ago?
70, 80 years. Yeah.
Right?
So
But-
why did it take so
right?
long to get a cell
Because
phone?
they only allow us to get shit until they have so much more advanced shit. Right? You think if you watch a 4K TV, they don't have shit, or 8K TV,
Yeah.
they have shit in a whole nother, right? They're not going to give you at real time what's
The
going
Japanese got it.
Right. But what I'm saying is, right,
No,
the
you're right.
government will never give you something in real time. You have to be behind.
Why is that? So we're
Because-
not smarter than them?
Of course. You don't think my son could manipulate something if he finds it out now, right, in real time. But they have to be ahead of it. right? Because you could watch something like the movie with Will Smith and
iRobot.
no Enemy of the State,
Oh yeah.
where it was like, yo, cameras everywhere, right? And we
Mhm.
used to look at that shit and be like, yo, that shit could never happen, right?
Yeah.
And look now,
Well,
you can't do shit. It's a camera
so
everywhere.
one of the best movies. This is probably mid 2000s, called Eagle Eye, and it's about a guy that he gets a phone call, and it's like some girl on the phone, and she goes, "Walk out the door in 3 seconds. 2, 1," and it blows
Yeah.
up behind him. She goes, "I told you to listen." She's got control of the red light camera. She's
Yeah.
got control of the camera. She can see where he's walking. She goes, "Get in the car. Accelerate to 62 miles an hour." And he goes, "Red light." She goes, "It will turn green.
Green, yeah,
Accelerate."
yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I'm like, watching it. This is 2010 probably.
And as I'm saying, Enemy of the State was way before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're right. They got to be ahead of us. That's
they
fucked
have
up.
to be, right? And listen, they say the trick of the world is, right, is that they can do anything to you, but they have to tell you. That's the trick of the world, they say.
Eventually tell you.
No. So right
Not
now,
away.
right now you can like say, right, look, I'm wearing this shirt. The Simpsons, right?
I've been binge watching that. By
I'm
the way.
just saying, right? They put shit in your face. It may be an episode from 99. It may happen in 2010,
Yep.
right? But they told you.
Yeah, they're always right. Or what was it? Is it The Simpsons always like no, South Park always
All the
predicts all the shit.
So listen, The Simpsons is way more than South Park. But all of them, right? But think about how they do it. They don't put it on a fucking reality show. They put it in cartoons, right?
Yeah.
They put it in things where you could be like, bullshit. You see what I'm saying? But yet it's happening, right?
Yep.
They have to tell
Yep.
you what's going on. Because then the universe doesn't work if they hide it from you.
South Park did the COVID where they all had a
So did fucking The Simpsons.
they did what they do? They did the whole trans battle with Cartman.
The Simpsons got fucking Kobe dying in helicopters. How they got Kamala Harris wearing the same shit that Lisa fucking wore
Yeah.
fucking years before.
Yeah.
How they got Donald Trump coming down the fucking escalator a certain way, right?
Yeah.
How they got the
Yeah.
Oculus glasses
Yeah.
fucking 20 years before they come
How,
out. Right?
how if you're Kobe and you find out that The Simpsons played you into a helicopter crash on a mountain, do you ever get in a helicopter again?
Not even that. How does he have a commercial later on where a helicopter crashes in the commercial?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
Look it up. There's a commercial, I believe it's with him and Kanye.
What is Joe Rogan's got that co-host guy that sits in the corner and he's like Alan or whatever his name is. He goes, "Alan, bring that up."
Yeah.
yo, Kobe, bring that up.
Right. So there's a commercial, I believe it's with him and Kanye.
Oh my God.
And at the end of the commercial, he throws a fucking ball, and it's like it's like a bomb, and it blows the helicopter up.
No. It's from 20. Wow.
See what I'm
Right
saying?
before it happened. 2011. Oh no, 2011.
Well, he died in 2020.
2020.
Right?
Yeah. So
Right, but
9
still,
years.
So they got to tell you what's going on.
Yo, if I'm Kobe and I got it,
Or maybe Kobe is fucking in fucking Cuba somewhere.
or that,
Right?
I'm gonna play this during the thing. It is with Kanye. Kanye versus the boss. I'm gonna play this in the corner, you guys. I'm not playing.
Please do.
While we're doing the rewatch on it. Kanye's got Kobe on the court, and he throws like 20 pairs of shoes, and all these guys pop up. They look like NFL linebackers.
Yeah,
They
they all
probably are.
chase him and all that. And
Yeah.
then all that. And then at the end, he throws a fucking basketball at the fucking helicopter, which is a
Stop.
fucking bomb, and it
You
blows
gotta
the
be shitting me.
helicopter up. Yes, sir.
This is
and
from
And then when it
2011.
falls or whatever, there's a fucking the championship fucking trophies or some shit like that.
No.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I never even, as much stuff as I watch, I've never even heard about this commercial.
Because see, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and people think I'm crazy. But when things start coming up,
true. It ain't
right,
conspiracy.
and people
no
say,
more.
"Yo," because they tell you. But right, the people who are crazy are the fucking 3% who believes it. Right,
Yeah.
we're crazy. But when it comes up, they go, "Oh well, yeah." Right?
No,
No.
Kanye's on a ladder hanging from the helicopter. Kobe throws it, smashes it,
And then what
it
happens?
falls out of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on?
So you
How
got
did-
the Simpsons saying it, and then the commercial saying it, and then it fucking actually happens in a helicopter crash, not a car crash, not a motorcycle, not a boating accident. He didn't fall down the stairs.
the
A
clock
fucking
clock
And
on
what
the
it- and
ball
what it
stops
stopped
at 20,
What it stopped
2020.
at 2020. They
Mother.
gotta tell you. Listen to what I'm telling you, man. They gotta tell you.
People in the comments are going, man, The powers that be even fucking pulled this off. How could they involve his child and the other kids in this? This is just on and on. They're like, this is no coincidence.
It's not.
This is, why they see the rings before they happen, even find this commercial really did exist in 2011. It's just on. Kobe's like, man, what is
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. Like, we go back.
I am.
I'm a it's blatantly obvious theorist. So like 9/11, motherfucker, did it happen? Yeah, I don't think they didn't pick up the buildings and carry them away and hide 3,000 people. People died. Buildings fell.
No, people died
because I've been there.
But the conspiracy is that
we
it
knew
was set up.
Yeah, we knew. We let it happen. If not, did it?
If not, let's say if everything else you feel is whatever, why is it that the person who owned the buildings
got insurance,
put insurance for terrorist attacks?
Yep.
Right before
acts of God, all this
right?
stuff. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why does that happen then, right?
And he's owned the buildings for 40 years.
Why is it that they grounded every plane that day, but only one plane flew, and they flew the Bin Laden family out of the country?
There's so many,
the case, right?
So much stuff. Not to mention, like, they're like, oh, if 2 planes hit the buildings, would they have actually came down on their own? Maybe, but they didn't know because no one's done it. So of course they put explosive stuff in there to make sure it came down.
Correct, and you can look at it.
They had to.
Anybody with a fucking brain can look at a controlled demolition.
Yeah, on Building 7 was the obvious. Building 7 was. So
and also,
obvious.
I'm from New York City.
Yeah,
and you can look at this house right here. If this house was 10 stories and it fell, it would affect your neighbors.
Yes.
This shit fell within itself.
Yep. And nothing around the Building 7, perfectly fine, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Because they're like, oh, well, all the buildings, the coffee shops and the sub shops and the whatever down the road. I'm like, well, all the debris, but around
debris,
it?
Yeah, but listen, you're talking about 100-story, like nothing fell this way, nothing. It all came straight down. Right?
That's pretty nuts. And it gave them their war. That's all they wanted was a war.
Well, you got to think, right? Who had big money in guns at the time?
In guns?
Yeah.
We did, but the Bush family? Cheney, his vice president.
His vice president, right?
He was in on it, the Bush family, too.
Of course. That's what's right. And we hadn't had no problems for a minute, right? It's false flagging, right? We got to figure something out, right?
When was the last? I mean, really, there were some small terrorists.
We had
93.
We had Desert Storm.
91, but 93 we had the basement of the Twin Towers.
Yeah, when they tried to blow it up from the bottom.
And then
that was real deal.
Yeah. And then you had those embassies in Africa in Kenya and Tanzania.
Who are we going to war with?
Tanzania.
There's nobody to go to war with, right?
And then
think about
that
this.
was it. I mean, the Oklahoma City bombing, but he was here.
Well, that's still here,
he
right?
Was here, yeah.
And then when you think about this, right?
I just watched that.
There's so many artifacts and there's so many things, right, that prove otherwise of how we learned about life, right? A lot of that stuff was in Saudi Arabia, right? Stuff like that, right?
The Saudis.
And Iraq, right? When they blew that, when they went over there, you know the first thing that the army did is they raided all the fucking museums.
His museums and his palaces.
Right? And got rid of all that information, right?
All his palaces.
Gaddafi, they got rid of him. He wanted to fucking start a new fucking money that was going to cut out China and the U.S.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
the Arabic summer.
Look it up. Right, his dollar that he was going. Remember, you got to think that Libya and all that was a self-sustained country. They put everybody through college. They never asked for a dollar from nobody, and they just say he was the most dangerous person, right?
Yeah.
And once he was going to start this dollar that was going to, it would have bankrupt everybody else.
I didn't even know that.
They killed them. You see what I'm saying? It's all about the money. It's all about the power, and it's all about liberation.
I didn't know about the money.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it just like the JFK thing I've always watched for a long. Hit that mute. The Samsung remote, hit the mute button. Or that, yeah. I've always watched JFK, clearly set up. Always watched 9/11, clearly set up. Even COVID. Look how much money a ton of people made on COVID. Kidding me? Was it the COVID? Was it the jab? It was everything. There's always somebody. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a common sense.
Listen, condolences to anybody who lost anybody during COVID.
But
But
there was a whole bunch of lying going on.
Exactly. Now, if they say 10 million people died from COVID, it might have been 1.5.
Yeah.
There were people who died in a fucking car crash.
That were labeled COVID
death. You got a gunshot wound.
Yep.
COVID death,
Yep.
right? Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer was about to go under.
They had a lot of problems.
We
lot.
put- we
Johnson
put-
& Johnson had the worst, which is
We
why
put
they were the
this,
first
but
one.
I'm simple. We put this money into them. Now they got this, right?
Yep.
Like, again, right? How does somebody like fucking The Simpsons know about something like
Yep.
this years before?
Yep.
And on top, hold on. And on top of this, right? If something like COVID were to happen, let's say 2009, you understand how chaotic the world would have been?
Back then.
But the world was set up. Uber Eats was out.
Like groomed.
Hold on, Uber Eats was out. And, right, we didn't have to even panic. Right, we can get food delivered. Walmart was still open. Right, you can rent movies on TV. It was the most comfortable fucking thing ever in all actuality.
The sad part is, part of me wishes that shit happened again. So we're just locked in here. Like,
I mean, as long as the money's still coming.
yeah,
I'm good,
right. Yeah.
But
Let's
you get what I'm
them
trying to
checked.
say?
You're right. Because if we didn't have all that stuff,
What, it would have been what? We don't know what to do about food. Right? We would have flipped the fuck out.
it would have been way. I've never thought of it in that like existence of like what we had and didn't have. Shit.
Everything was rolled out first.
Because I remember one of the days, I'll never forget it. I come home and they put in the curfew. Remember, you couldn't be out past like 9 p.m. Everything was closed at like 6, 7. You had everyone off the road at 9. No one driving unless you were
essential worker,
emergency
like myself,
worker,
or my wife, or whatever.
Yeah, right. Essential medical, all whatever. And I was like, I looked at the clock one day and it was like 9:01. I'm like, bitch, I want McDonald's. And Kate's like, it ain't open, dumbass. And I'm like, what you talking about? She goes, they went home at 6 o'clock. You ain't getting McDonald's.
See,
like,
but that's not
bullshit.
because McDonald's was always open. I mean, maybe for like the first couple
like
weeks.
1 month. Yeah, it was like a month.
But what I'm saying is, right?
After that, yeah.
Right?
But no, for the first month, I was like, how are we supposed to get food? And she's like, you got to go early, like go to the store or grocery or order
the
it.
biggest fucking thing was like, well, we'll stay open.
Yeah.
Or we'll die. Or we'll die to feed you. Stop it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember. But then they had the arrows that you had to walk left and not right. That was the dumbest shit, man.
Listen, B,
I got yelled at.
I could cough on anything. Right?
From
This
6
is what
feet
I'm
away.
saying, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
I got yelled at for walking.
I see a nigga fart. I can smell it from 6 feet away. But you telling me if you cough COVID, I can't get it from 6? Stop it.
Stop it. I walked left down this aisle. I like turned down the aisle and I was supposed to be up the other way. And a lady was walking past me, right? You know what? Listen, you know what I did? I fucking turned around and started walking backwards. I said, does this make it all right? The Walmart employee, poor girl, was like 19 years old. She looks at me like,
yeah.
She goes, I need to check with my manager if that's okay. I'm like,
yeah, I'll moonwalk on you. What is you talking about? Right?
You said I can't walk that way, so now I'm walking the other way. I almost died.
But think about this, though, right?
Somebody thought of that. Somebody sat down and thought that.
This is what I'm trying to say. You know what? We're going to do this. We're going to do that, right?
And bet on us buying it hook, line, and sinker, or even if we didn't buy it, that we would do it.
What else could we do? See what I'm saying? They control everything, right? What else could we do? Fuck that, I'm sending my kid to school anyway? No, it's closed, right? What could you do?
Go into a restaurant without a mask on?
But if the restaurant fucking says we're closed because of right, what could you do?
I know.
But at the same time, you never had to be like, yo, how am I going to eat tomorrow? Because
You're
you
right.
could get
They had everything
already set up for you.
We had movies at home.
That's what I'm saying.
We did.
The brand new movie, right? Yo, oh, well, we're not going to miss our rollout for the movie theater. We'll just put it to you at home.
Yep, $10, $9.99 at Netflix. Yep.
See what I'm trying to say? Everything we had all the streaming services already.
We
had Uber Eats, we had fucking DoorDash, whatever. All that was already set up. Certain fucking supermarkets said, okay, well, we'll stay open, right? Like, so what was the panic?
There wasn't. No.
There was none.
Nope.
So it was orchestrated.
They groomed us.
And while they was doing that, you know who was working every motherfucking day? Verizon fucking putting Fios in. They was out.
You're right.
They was out.
True story. My house was being built.
Mine was too.
With Spectrum.
See what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
So now you got to think about, like, why did they not want us to look up? Why did they not want us to see certain things? I personally feel, somebody could look at me like I'm crazy, but I feel like the world is different after 2020.
Oh, for sure.
I
But
feel the sun is different. I feel like there's bugs that's different. No, I'm dead serious. It's certain shit I've never seen. Like, you'd be like, yo, this has never been like this before.
I felt it in the monetization of the whole, we became dependent on streaming and delivery and
Correct.
food and services and service fees. They added a COVID fee. You remember that? There was like a COVID fee. And then now everywhere you go, there's an extra fee at the bottom of every receipt.
Because it never went back down.
Yeah, they never got rid of it. Our stupid Lagoon tried to do a venue fee, like $1 a check. I called them out
for
on that.
coming somewhere that
Yes,
we already paid for.
Correct. And I came out to them. I'm like, you want to add that to the general public's fee? Like, you
Cool.
knock yourself out.
Not a problem.
But I'm
me.
already paying you monthly
Correct.
a venue fee to
Exactly.
come get out of here. And then it just quietly disappeared.
But you know what's another thing though? Me personally, I feel like it taught us how to spread apart from each other. It taught us how to divide from each other, right? Think about how many people who've never talked to another person since COVID again, right? How many people that you don't even talk to again? How many people were able to be like, you know what, I'm good, right? Like I don't need people, right? Like if anything were to ever happen again, right, you already be like, you know what, I don't need this, I don't need that.
I can sit in my house for 6 months by myself.
You got your dating apps that just fucking go crazy right now because now people, right? Think about the babies who were born during COVID who don't even really know how to socialize like that because for the first 2 years of their life they never went to daycare, nothing like that. I'm telling you,
there's a lot of different. That's crazy. There was people that were dating on Tinder that would have to be, they were sending like, do you wear a mask? Did you get vaccinated? Did you do this? Did you do, like, that's how like the dating apps went crazy. I remember one of our friends was really single then. And it was just like, she's like, this is crazy. Like, do you care if I come over to your house? Or you like, I'm like, what?
And then you out there with the fucking, the ultraviolet shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, so my buddy, I know I've mentioned to you a couple times, but he, so I'm going to tell you a funny story after this. He's got a lot of money. Big old house, calls me one day. This is a couple months in, so people are starting to get back to the stores. He's got 7 kids. I think he had like 5 at the time. He's completely a germaphobe, always has been. His wife's worse. She's from a big old Italian family, which is weird because they usually don't give a shit. Yeah, but calls me one day. I'm picking up lunch, and I used to live near him, and he goes, "Hey, you're out in town?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "My kids." He uses his own routers at home. He goes, "The routers both blew up. They broke. My 7 kids can't play video games." I'm like, oh shit. Like he's like,
that's crucial.
He goes, Walmart has these Nighthawks. They're $150. He's like, I need 2 of them. He's like, you got $300. I'm like, yeah, of course. He goes, you pick those up for me and drop them off. I'll give you $400. I'm like, all right, fuck it. So go over to Best Buy or Walmart or whatever. I pick them up. I drive him to his house. And he's got this big old circle driveway, and it's got a courtyard in the front. It's like a big old house. And in the courtyard, he's got this huge Italian marble table. He goes, you can just leave them on the table. I'm like, all right. So they're in the bag. I drop them off there. He goes, underneath the leg is $400. I'm like, sweet. Take $400. I'm like, appreciate it. I start to back out. I got to back out of this long driveway, and his wife comes out. She's in a full PPP gear, the mask, the
like
shield.
Outbreak.
She's got the gloves on, and she's got a bottle, like Clorox.
Spraying this shit.
She spray. This is in a bag, inside of plastic, like the box, is plastic wrap.
Yeah.
She sprayed everything, wipes it. I sat in her at the end of the driveway just watching, like 10 solid minutes. I called him up. I said, "Yo, dog." He's like, "What?" I said, "Your wife is still outside spraying that shit down." He goes, "Yeah, can't bring that in." I'm like, "What do you do with your food?" He goes, "The same thing." I'm like,
so you spray fucking, see what I'm saying?
Oh my God. What?
So think about what you're saying, right?
I remind him of this all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I remind him of it all the time.
This is a germ, right? We walk around with germs.
Yep.
Your body's supposed to get germs.
And learn how to fight it.
Right?
Yep.
When we was growing up, we ate dirt.
Yeah, we did.
Right? You fucking drink alcohol, right?
How many bugs are in our beers down at the
you know what I mean? Anything, right? You flick that shit out, right? But yet we don't get sick like that.
No.
This time the other, right? These kids stay sick shit like that because we've been shielding them from, oh my God, this time. That's why, you know what I mean? You put kids in daycare. They got to get these things, right? You know what I mean? Your body knows how to fight. So now you got COVID out here, right? I'm not saying, like, again, COVID's a real, but it was like the flu.
It was a severe flu, and people with a lot of pre-existing conditions.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there was a huge
God
spike.
bless to all those people. If you got asthma, you had this, that.
Well, I'll tell you,
it could trigger those things.
And you should know this too. The number one pre-existing condition that people died with, do you know what it is? It was diabetes. It was absolutely diabetes. And number 2 was asthma, of course. But it's like, yeah, if you got heart disease, diabetes, asthma, and pneumonia already, almost anything's gonna. You could have got pneumonia, you could have got a cold, you could have got COVID, you could have got whatever, and probably same result. Same result. It happened, and it was, you just made a good point. His kids, right now they're 15, 13, 11, 9, 7. So you back up 5 years, the oldest was 10, so they were between 2 and 10. They're all homeschooled. They've never been to kindergarten. They've never been to preschool. They've never been to daycare. They've never been outside their house.
So when they get released to the world, just a regular old day at Walgreens, they catching some regular shit, and it's going to be, you know what I mean?
Yep. And so the funny story is on May 15th, a couple weeks ago, he left for a 6-month European vacation with all 7 kids and his wife and their nanny, 10 of them. Yeah, his nanny. Yeah. So they took a 10-day cruise from Miami to Barcelona,
So they
Spain.
went in a shell.
Yeah.
Okay.
To Barcelona, Spain. And then they got off Barcelona, Spain and toured Spain for a few days. And then they took a train 6 hours to Portugal.
Okay.
And they're now on a train, or they may have already done it, on a train to London for like 8 hours.
See, you see, I can't know him. But if I know him, I'm going to be talking that shit. You're a fucking idiot. So you spray all of this shit that was in a plastic, in a box, in this, right? But yet now you're putting yourself in a capsule
with
every
7
day
kids.
Where and people coughing and doing all kinds of shit.
In another country. I remind him of it every day. And, I'm waiting on his phone call because it's been 2 weeks. They've been gone 2 weeks now. And I'm waiting on the phone call because 10 days was on the ship. So he's only been in Portugal, Spain, 4 days. And I'm like, he's going to call me and go, oh, this trip's terrible. All my kids are sick.
I bet.
I'm waiting on it. I'm going to be like, bro, I told you this for the last 4 years.
But then that goes to say, right, like, did Michael Jackson know what's going on? Right? Every time he was over in China and all those places that he did.
He always wore a mask.
Always wore a mask. Most of the people in China, and they say, well, it's because of the smog.
Yeah. People in Japan don't do it as much. They think it's cleaner. But in China, yeah. Well, Michael Jackson did that in Germany. Like in Europe, he was on. Remember when he held that baby off the balcony?
Yeah, he had a mask on.
He
knew.
Yeah,
he knew there was certain shit floating around. Right?
People thought he was just crazy.
But again, right? Certain people know certain shit. Certain people just know certain shit.
So if you got enough money,
You know, right?
Kobe had a lot of money. Maybe Kanye knew.
But you know why they got rid of Kobe?
He didn't really listen. He did things his own way.
No. Remember, here
we go. I'm learning tonight, man.
He started a $1 billion lawsuit against the pharmaceutical companies for people getting fucking addicted to opioids.
Stop.
They were getting ready to go to fucking court.
Yeah, that'll do it.
A few weeks before his helicopter crash.
That'll get you fucking removed. 86, 47. They 86 Mamba. What the fuck is going on? That'll get you.
You can't do it.
Not against them. They're the richest companies in the world.
See what I'm saying?
You can't get rid of it.
So it only makes sense.
The pharmaceuticals. I mean, you have a little inside knowledge in some of that, like pharmaceutical medicine.
I know that at the end of the day, you don't fuck with people's money.
Not companies that size.
Correct.
Fuck no.
Look at Diddy, right? He was living his life, doing it up.
Johnson & Johnson.
Everybody was fucking with him, this, that, and the other, right? Not only fucking him, but fucking with him, right? And then he had that big company over there that was doing the alcohol deal with him and all that.
Ciroc, yeah.
And he went against him and tried to say they was racist, this, that, and the other. What was it like? What, a month or so later, the Cassie video comes out. Boom,
he's
everything.
arrested,
and then now all of a sudden, people back you when you have the money. Epstein, people back you when you have the people that's behind you. But if you go against them,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah, that Ciroc company he was with is a huge conglomerate, big company over there. Yeah, I didn't know that Kobe was in.
Yeah, he had a big lawsuit. He was the face of this lawsuit. $1 billion. Yeah.
It makes sense now. You can't talk. No, there's like Pfizer and Johnson. Well, so perfect thing. The new documentary on Netflix. Highly recommend if you haven't watched it. It's called The Tylenol Murders.
Yeah, I just put it on my thing.
So it's super good. I just watched it over the weekend.
And this is the dude who was drugging the Tylenol things back in the day.
So this was the 1970s. It was like 79. It might have been going into 80.
It was a little bit later than that. That was in the 80s.
I think it was.
I was alive.
I just watched it.
I was alive when that came.
Hey, you're old as fuck.
I ain't old as fuck. I ain't that damn old.
Older than me.
I was born in the 1900s and shit.
Barely. You're right. 1982. Okay, so Yeah, so pre 1982, this is how we got it. They didn't have the tamper-proof
Correct.
caps. You could just open it up in the
yeah.
thing. So in the store, somebody could, just like they
Open
did,
it up.
open it, take a few out, replace it with a few more. And so that's what he was doing. And I won't ruin the show. Anybody wants to watch it, but that's where we got our tamper-proof things. But those murders, the company, when it was Johnson & Johnson makes Tylenol, and that actually at the time Johnson & Johnson didn't own the production. So there was another company who was producing it and selling it to Johnson & Johnson. They got, of course, like accused of having it was cyanide is what was being used. Cyanide in their plant. Their manufacturing plant.
Yeah, that was the whole thing that they were trying to figure out, because they thought they were, but it was
contaminated. Yeah, and of course it was somebody doing it. But so they went to Johnson & Johnson's packaging plant first, and there was like no traces of cyanide. And then they went to the manufacturing plant. There's no trace. They couldn't find anything. And then way down the road, of course, they found out that indeed at the production plant, they did use cyanide for something. And they were like, oh my God. They never did link.
Yeah. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
I want to talk because I want to watch it.
Yeah, so there's a lot to it with the whole cyanide thing and that guy.
But it's the same thing right now, right?
But Johnson & Johnson
I got three kids. I still let them go get candy on Halloween.
Yeah.
Any asshole could be like, you know what? Let me just stick a little needle in half these candies, right? You see what I'm saying?
And we got resealing packages, things, and all that. Yeah, during that Tylenol murders, I don't remember the number. It was like a dozen people died. Whatever. Somebody just in our neighborhood, we got 500 kids come around here. Somebody could fuck with a bunch of candy, kill 500 kids.
It's the individual, right?
Yeah.
And you never know. But it's the same way, right? Now we got to take our shoes off at the fucking airport because one idiot tried to blow up a plane with fucking matches
in his shoe.
Right? Now we got to all take our fucking...
Richard Ramirez, the shoe bomber.
For fucking 100 years or however many years before that, nobody had
to take their shoes off.
You see what I'm saying? One person, right?
And we got to have the 3 ounces of liquid, which is...
Yet, you could put 100,000 ounces in your bag on the plane.
Yeah, and it could be explosive. But also what I thought was crazy is in your thing, you could have like 4 different 3-ounce bottles, right? So if I need 12 ounces to blow it up, I'll just put 1 of each and then...
So you need 4 of them.
Yeah, I just need 4 of them. Exactly, right?
So that's what I'm saying. Talk to me like I'm fucking the human, right? Yeah. But people be like, oh yeah, right? See, that's what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying?
They don't think like none of this is... And then I also ask, I'm like...
But I'm saying, now do every company now a second income by now selling travel size?
Yeah. Yep, of course.
Now I get a second income.
I got travel size bottles upstairs that we fill up and refill, yeah.
So now you have to buy twice, right? Oh, right. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. And I always thought, I Googled this, and God, man, the FBI is going to knock on my door. I Googled how many ounces of liquid does it take to blow up a plane?
On your own account?
On my own. Yeah, on my own phone.
Them now.
And right there. And it was like, you can make a homemade explosive that'll blow up a whole city block with like 1 ounce. I'm like, so what the fuck is 3 ounces?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm only trying. All you got to do is blow a hole that big in the side of a plane, and the rest will rip apart. That's it. God, here goes the FBI. It was on my other phone. I got stolen in Vegas. We're good.
Good.
Lil Nene got the
with the 37 grand.
They're gonna send Lil Nene the FBI.
Shit, don't send Lil Nene. Shit.
They'll send the FBI there. Yeah. No, that's what I always thought. I'm like, man, they don't think this stuff through. Or like, take the Vegas. Speaking of Vegas, the Vegas guy that shot it up from Mandalay Bay. I was there a week after that, by the way. Yeah. So, like, they always, the whole gun thing. Like, when you go into a Vegas hotel now, they're like trained to keep an eye on like, oh, is he bringing up 12 bags? Like it's one guy for a week.
So I can bring up 1 bag.
And then go back to my car.
I can go back to my car, go bring another bag.
And so then
we could all be going into 4 different rooms and bring up 2 bags apiece.
Right. And then so they also did the thing, and Disney implemented this first because he put the do not disturb up for like the whole 3 days he was prepping. And they were like, oh, if the do not disturb is up more than 24 hours, we're going to knock on the door and make sure everything's okay. And so I asked the Disney, I know somebody that works at Disney. I said, so what's the policy? And she was like, oh, when you knock on the door, you just say, hey, housekeeping, it's been 24 hours. Somebody answers, goes, oh yeah, I'm all set. And they give you another 24 hours. I'm like, so I'm not going to open the door and go, hey, yeah, you want to check my guns out? Like nobody, what?
What if I'm down having breakfast? What do you do? Kick my door in?
Yeah.
Right? Like if I'm not there, you like, what do you, see, this is shit I'm talking about.
Yep.
And we'll sit there and be like, you know what? Hey, I got to take it off, right? And what if I took it off for 4 hours, but nobody came during those 4 hours, and I put it back? Like, what are you talking about here?
And they said that they have permission to scan and come in the room if after 12. I'm like, yeah, you come in at hour 25 and I'm on the bed with my wife. Now what? Now what lawsuit we got? Like,
this is what I'm talking about. we sit here and we go about rules that make no sense whatsoever.
And but people sit down and think of this stuff.
But there's reasons why, right? How about it's Vegas? I thought windows aren't supposed to open in Vegas.
They don't.
Right?
He shattered them. Yeah.
He shattered
them.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now he's shooting 30 minutes, 20 minutes. He's just shooting.
30
right?
over 30 minutes. Yeah.
But that was that individual's fucking mindset
Out of his mind,
do what he was going to do. There was no way to pre-plan that. Just like what you're talking about, a fucking sign and all that. It's not going to fucking prepare yourself.
This man had cameras in the hallway.
Person.
He had cameras in the hallway, like watching.
It's not going to prepare for the next person what they do.
And again, the FBI is coming to my house, but you think about some of the mass shootings. Oh, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. I might have to beep that out. Some of the mass pew-pews, and like take a school, for example. They kill 15, 20 people, 25 people. You know, he shot 400.
Yeah, he didn't get that many.
But he only killed 50. Oh. And there were 12,000 people, and he emptied thousands of rounds. I know he was a half a mile away.
Yeah.
But you're going to tell me somebody can walk into school and kill 20, 25 people?
Yeah.
And him for 30 minutes
Correct.
Out of a window just...
I can say yes because more of it is close-up combat, right? If you walk into a classroom, there's 15 people here, and I'm shooting that same gun, it's so much easier to get
just pick
critical shots versus from up there.
Just
like people are running, right? You might hit a person in the leg, this, that, and the other, right? But you got to think about the post shooting, right? This dude gets in with a fucking AR right here, right? Yeah. Security, right? What happened to security, right? But still, and come to find out, he was gay.
Yeah.
He was upset, right? He goes in there, he shoots up, right? And not to be funny, but there's a few survivors that were hiding in the bathroom. And he kicks in the door, he comes in there, and he finds them. They were black.
Yep.
And he's like, I don't have a problem with you.
Really?
And let them live.
He was mixed, right?
I thought he was all Arabic or something.
His name was like Muhammad or something. Yeah.
But he was like, yo, my beef is not with you.
This was white people. White gay people.
Yeah. Because a white gay person broke his heart.
Right. Shocker. No, but like, so that was 40 people or 40 some people.
No, I thought that one was about 52 or
close to 50.
Like
he was like second place. We're placing them. But no, it's legit. No, but Vegas was number 1 and Pulse was like number 2. But think about how that shooting in Pulse didn't last that long. In hindsight, compared to dude up in the window. And I know it's a distance thing, but like, I feel like if you got thousands of rounds.
He killed 49. And injured 53.
Yeah. And dude in Vegas.
So 100 people.
Killed 50 or 51. Yeah. Only 2 more people.
But why? Kill yourself.
Right. Yeah, of course. Always. But I'm just like, I always think about it where I'm like, man, how did he only... He was up in that window for 30, 40 minutes.
That was all luck.
With a Bushmaster 223, a long-range rifle. Just...
Yeah, just...
I feel like you do that... Maybe if he had gone down there and sat across the street and did it, could he have killed hundreds?
Because you got to think a bullet traveling, right? Again, that it loses velocity.
It's distance, yeah.
Right, it loses velocity. Plus, like you said, he's just spraying, right? So you got people running, hiding, this, that, and the other, boom, right? So, you got legs, arms, right? You know what I mean? Everything's not going to be a kill shot. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, what possesses you to just be like, yo, all these innocent, who cares, right? Like, and I know those things before that, but Columbine started it.
Yeah, I was a kid. Yeah, I watched that on TV.
But that started, right? Now everybody
and that was
wants
15,
to top
16
that.
people, yeah.
People want to top that.
I think about that. So like we went to the Taylor Swift concert. I took Kate for her birthday. And yeah, you get patted down, you get metal detect, you get all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, nobody's going to shoot us inside the stadium with 70,000 people. But what about the guy standing across the street waiting for all of us to dump out in the parking lot? And now there's 10,000 people in front of him and he just opens up.
Or some fucking goddamn dude who does park car or some shit and fucking scales the top, right? I'm just saying, right? Yep. If there's a will, there's a way, right? But you just never know, right? outdoor
I watched that
festivals and
stuff.
stuff.
I
But
watched.
again, it wasn't like he walked into the festival. He
No,
was
he
up
was
in a fucking
fucking half
hotel.
mile away.
Right? Like, what can you do? And then you
can't.
got some people who's like, oh, I'm never going anywhere because of this, right? Like, you can't. And that's the thing. That's what terror
That's what
is
people
about.
said about
That's
COVID.
what terror is about.
Yep,
It's
terrorists-
about scaring the shit out of you that you're scared to do regular shit.
And COVID did it too, where people are like, I'm never going out again. I'm not going to go to the grocery store. I'm not going to.
Well, God bless them. Netflix is making a bunch of money off them.
And every other stream. You know, one of the first places we came. So when we moved out of our house, we sold the house in October of 2020. We'd already signed the contract here. Our house sold in 3 days. I was like, shit, we got to get out. Like, we're going to rent a hotel because they told us we were closing in December. It was like October 30th. We're like the day before Halloween. And I'm like, Kate, our house ain't done for like 5 weeks. I'm like, let's just get a hotel. We made a lot of money on the last house. I'm like, all right, go get a hotel, go to Orlando. Cause she's like, well, where are we going to get a hotel in Wesley Chapel? I'm like, yeah, that's kind of lame, right? Like, that's dumb. What do we got to do? We put all our stuff in storage. All my business stuff was in storage, basically shut it down. I came over once a week to ship. That was it. So I'm like, we'll go to Orlando. This is cool. Go there, we had this. We had a living room. We had a dining room. We had a bedroom with a bathtub in the bedroom. All right. So get that. Miranda calls us like 2 weeks.
Westgate or something?
Yeah, it was Westgate. Miranda called.
I speak Caucasian.
Miranda called. You speak $4,000 a month. That's what that cost for the first month. For the first month, it was $133 a night. But I got it from a timeshare place.
I do like 4 nights maximum.
Right. Well, we didn't have that luxury.
No, I'm just saying. But I mean, you got it. Man.
Yeah. So I got it.
Let me hold something.
We had killed it on the other house. So we stayed there, and Miranda called 2 weeks later and was like, "Yo, your house ain't getting done. COVID fucked it up. We can't get windows. We can't get doors.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and that's
shit.
what fucking
can't get
prices
appliances.
Up.
Yeah,
that's what fucked the prices up too because of everything.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And
my house was like that too.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, what are we talking? A couple weeks? And I was like, oh, okay. He goes, no, a couple months.
Yeah, whenever we get it.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck. So we ended up being there for 6 months. But after the first month, I called corporate and I said, hey, I need like 4 months. And I said, it's $4,000 a month, 16,000. What can you do? He goes, how about 10? I'm like, what if I pay you cash right now for all the months? He goes, what about 8? I'm like, done. So we got it for $2,000 a month, which was a deal.
Better fucking sign a 6-month lease. Somewhere.
No shit, right? If I had known better. No. But when you think about what I was paying, even previously at my old house, mortgage, electric, water, that I didn't have those bills anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, and you got to live in
the
luxury.
$2,000 made sense.
Yeah, I mean, you had to whiten it up.
Yeah, the $2,000. What didn't make sense is every day we went downstairs to the pool every day, and they had a lazy river with a cafe in the middle of it. Yeah. As you floated by, they'd hand you a fucking sandwich. Man, I spent like $15,000 on food and alcohol there.
Yeah, easily.
Jesus Christ. Hey, no, when we...
Let's take a half a break.
Half a break?
Yeah, I got to piss.
Oh, man. See the bathroom? Now I got to cut it off. I got to edit it. I got to cut it. People don't understand the podcast.
Yeah, we take breaks sometimes.
Oh, yeah. So we were just talking during the break there.
Hold on. Before he goes into that. if you listen to the podcast, we brung up some things that, shootings and things of that nature. He happened to turn the TV on, and the first thing there is Columbine.
Not even kidding. So before we started, the TV was on, but I was on a video game. Mm-hmm. And
then we turned the TV
off. We turned it off. We turned everything off. And we started talking in the podcast. And while we were on the break, I turned the TV back on, and I kid you not, you know how you get that recommended menu? Bam. Number first one thing setting YouTube. Yeah. Like it recommends, a documentary I was watching a couple nights ago about Flight MH370 disappearing and Pawn Stars I watched. But number one, which I haven't looked up, researched Columbine in years.
Exactly.
Years. We just talked about it 5 minutes ago. And it's right there. And not only is it popped up, it's number one. Front and center. Yeah.
Like, we know you, we know you're interested in this. Yeah. Like how?
Yeah.
But how?
How? Because of my TV. I mean, it's
But still, the TV's off.
I know.
But then it's never off.
It's never off. No, never off. And that's a voice activated TV, and so is the remote, wherever the other one is.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, they got batteries in them, or they got plugged into the wall. Kobe.
I'm just saying. I said, yo, can I get a shot of vodka? The first thing that come up was like, how was vodka made? Right? Why that didn't pop up?
Well,
we talked about Kobe. Why the Kobe documentary didn't pop up then, right?
Excuse me.
I'm just saying, right?
Yeah. So I don't know why the Columbine one came up. Like maybe, I don't know. That's
so
crazy.
you said Apple what?
Oh, so no, when that happened, I said it's always listening. And Apple has a lawsuit right now. I think it's from like 2017 that if you owned a Apple device with Siri, which now my phone's going to pick that up. If you own a phone, a tablet, a watch, anything that you could get paid, they're paying out $93 million for anybody because they admitted to illegally eavesdropping on people.
Divided by what, like a billion people?
I'm sure 93 million people,
you
so you
get
get
like
$1.
$13.75 over a lifetime.
Well, so so the maximum on the device is $20 is what they said.
Yeah.
But you can sign up if you had 5 devices, because if you could prove you had a phone, a tablet, a computer, a watch, and an Apple TV,
So you get $100.
Yeah, but that's 93 million. But remember, you don't need 93 million people, because if everyone had 2 devices, now it's 40 some million people. You're down to $2.
100%.
You might only end up getting $5, $1 per device.
I mean, the stamp would probably cost more.
Right. So that's what, because people were sitting there doing the math. Some guy had put it out there. Oh, he's like, assume that like half those people had at least 2 devices or 3 devices. He's like, so when you divide 93 million out, he goes, if you're getting $20 per person, that only requires 4.6 million people. He goes, but if everyone had 2 devices, now it only requires 2.3 million. He goes, way more than 2 million people got iPhones, and Apple are going to sign up for all this. Right. Exactly. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people won't go fill out the paperwork, but a lot of people will.
Well, I don't fuck with Apple.
But that's only the equivalent of $20.
That's what I'm saying. And people will go all the way out to try to get this fucking money, right?
Get $20.
But my thing is like, I don't fuck with Apple. I just never have, right? And they, why would you buy something with a bite out of it already?
That's marketing, bro. That's marketing.
Yeah. So was Adam and Eve, right? Think about.
Oh, here we go.
Listen,
we're going way back.
They put it right in your face.
I know.
What is the only thing that listen, you have never been like, yo, I'm going to go get a Big Mac with a bite out of it. When they put the commercial, right, the Big Mac is juicy and all that, and it's not a bite out of it.
There's a guy taking a bite out of it.
Where?
Some of them commercials, like,
they be singing ba-da-ba-ba-ba. They loving it. But what I'm saying is, right, think about what's the only
marketing.
But what's the only thing with an apple and a bite out of it?
It's marketing.
Hold on.
It's Apple.
Hold on.
It's marketing.
Hold on. Listen. I'm not trying to argue. So now, if we're not gonna get deep, but when you think about Adam, Eve, right? What was the punishment?
They died.
No, but what was the punishment for?
Because they bit the apple.
Why?
Because Eve convinced him it was okay to eat.
But what was the apple? What was the symbolic of the apple?
It's poison. It was the evil.
No.
Sin.
No. See, that's what they did. That's what they put. The apple was knowledge.
Oh.
They was not supposed to know what they know. Listen, right? Remember, as soon as they bit the apple, then they realized they were naked. Once they bit the apple, they realized things, right? So the apple was actually knowledge, right? And then yet you have the most. Hold on. You got the thing with technology that has the bite out of it, which is all knowledge, right? Come on, man.
I thought the apple was like their sins, like the greed, like not the greed, but like you want the gluttony, like you want, I'm gonna eat. I'm not supposed to eat this, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
No, they had everything else to eat, but it was told just don't bite that.
Don't bite the apple.
Right? And as soon as that was, right, that's when they realized what sins were, right? That's when they realized. So that means that it was knowledge then.
So what? Am I taking a bite out of knowledge? Is that what's going on?
No, now you have the knowledge in your hand, right?
No, they have all the knowledge in my hand.
I mean, at the end of the day, right? That's why one time I was going to fuck Jaden up. This is 2020 during COVID. I'm at home. I'm with the kids. They doing the homeschool.
That's his oldest.
They doing the homeschool and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So one day, get the call. Jaden failed the test.
Uh-oh. So
I go in the motherfucker room, I kick the door, and boom, you failed the fucking test.
Like a virtual test.
Yeah, I mean they doing homeschooling,
yeah.
right? He said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "Nigga, I paid for a phone and you ain't cheat." Fuck you mean you failed?
You took the test on a tablet.
Yo, you ain't just right? You on a computer. It's 18 of y'all, 20 of y'all, and you ain't just look down and cheat.
We used to cheat on graphing calculators.
Yo, we used to cheat with fucking gum under the table with notes and all. Nigga, I pay every month for a fucking phone, and you at home, and you ain't cheat. At least get a C, nigga. At least a C.
I can't, because
I'm not mad you. I'm mad you fail with technology in your hand.
Yeah.
They'll come to me, Dad, hey, what year did such and such? And you got this Siri bitch in your pocket? You asking me?
Back in our day, our teachers said, you're never always going to have a calculator in your pocket. Yes, I do. I got it on my wrist. I got it in my pocket.
Which is true. But the thing is, though, we had to do math without the calculator.
We didn't have it.
These kids have to have a calculator to do math.
Yep.
So if I tell my son right now, what is this times this and divided by, right? They have no idea how to fucking do
Not
it
by
on
hand.
paper.
Fuck no.
No idea.
We barely knew how to do it, and we had to do it by hand.
But we knew how to do it,
Yeah.
but then it was like, yo, show your work, right? And that's why I used to fuck up, right? Because I was smart enough to know, like, yo, this, that, boom, right? But then once I started to have to break it down,
it's too
then
hard.
I start fucking it up,
same.
right?
Yeah.
Then I start fucking up. But we were smarter, right? They're smarter than us in other ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technology-wise, they're way smarter.
Oh,
but
for sure.
Fucking common sense.
Well, I'll tell you
went to
why.
Armageddon tomorrow,
They'd be done.
we have to let them go. We have to eat them.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. And you just answered it. It's super easy. Because they don't have to show their work. They don't have to think about how to do stuff. Stuff just does it for them. The TV just says, oh, you want to watch Columbine? Here you go. Here it is. Like, you don't got to figure out how to do stuff. We had to figure shit out.
So there was something that I read, and they said, because, our kids, they don't have to learn how to write cursive anymore.
No.
And they said something like, well, think about this. 2 more generations, right? They won't even know what cursive is, right?
They won't even know it was a thing.
How would they even be able to read the fucking the Declaration of Independence?
Oh my God.
How would they even know? They would have to be told.
Well, it's already hard to read.
But
You ever try to read it? It's hard as shit
I know
to read.
how to read cursive.
I know, so do I, but it's hard as shit to read.
Correct, but
because they had old school stuff.
But what I'm saying is, imagine just being told now later on in life what this says.
Yeah,
right?
because you can't read it.
Because you can't read it.
Well, we can't read old ancient writings, like some of them historical, like Egyptian, not like the picture hieroglyphics, but like the old.
But somebody has
British
deciphered
stuff.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yet they tell us what it says.
Yeah.
It could say something totally different,
And
as
we don't
well,
know, yeah.
right?
We don't
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I feel like they set them up for failure, right? My kids don't get homework. There's no such thing as homework, In Pasco County, there's no homework. No, there's no homework.
What? What do they do?
They say that home time is home time, school time is school time.
Fuck,
They
were,
get
were-
no-
fuck were
they
those
don't-
teachers
they
when I
don't-
grew.
they don't
That's
even-
because that's us teaching right now
They
that
don't
we
even
wish
have-
we had it
They
that
don't
way.
even have textbooks.
What?
My kids
It's all
have-
online, right?
Yeah, everything's everything's on a fucking iPad. You get what I'm saying? Everything. So again, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's my point. If my son fails a test, they get to take it again.
Oh.
They get to mix, right? But then this goes back to fucking George W. When he put the No Child Left Behind
Act, yeah.
right? So now all the teachers teach is the test for the end of the year because
We
that's
just
how
need
the
you to pass,
schooling,
yeah.
right? So now all the extra shit gets thrown out the window.
Yeah.
All their teaching, right? So now our kids are really learning nothing except for what this little base
That
thing.
test's gonna be. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's sad.
That's nuts.
And then another thing, when they look at history, right? My kids are black, half black. And my wife even said it. She says, I didn't know.
The other half is woo
Like,
woo woo. In case
yeah,
you're wondering.
no, she's not woo woo. She's red dot.
I know.
But slash
7-Eleven.
Caribbean. Anyway, she really thought that like black people started at slavery. When you look at
Wait, your wife?
she really even thought that. When you look at textbooks and you look at
She talking about 1960s?
No,
1860s?
No, I'm talking about if you came to America right now and you learned school, right? I mean, you went to school, right? When it starts off talking about black people, what does it start at?
Lincoln. Slaves.
Slavery.
Civil War.
No knowledge of all the other things.
For real?
Yeah.
Like 1860s and forward?
It starts off with
Lincoln.
black people, Columbus and them, and then it goes into they went and they wanted workers, so they went to Africa, right, and brought slaves over, right. So forget the kings, the queens, the pyramids, and all the other, right. Now it starts off there. So if you don't know any other knowledge or go any deeper than that, you would never even.
You're only
know that.
going back
You would
150
think-
years.
Yeah, you would just think that fucking all black people were just slaves or some shit. Like it's just it's crazy.
Yikes. Even in school, we learned like, so I had black history teacher in 10th grade, and that was my first year of AP world history, and super cool dude, Mr. Green. Go figure. I'm serious. Bald headed guy, about 50. Cool dude.
Mr. Black.
Huh?
His name could have been Mr. Black.
Oh yeah.
Or
No,
Mr. Brown.
I was in his.
Was he white or was he black?
No, he's black.
Okay.
Bald head, about 50, glasses, kind of chunkier guy, but super cool dude.
I mean, none of that matters.
I was in his class when 9/11 happened, actually. But it was like 9 a.m., like our second period of the day. And He was like AP, like the smart dude, genius guy, world history. So we had to do first half of the year, we had to do like kings and queens, British and European and all that shit. But the second half of the year, we got to learn about Africa and Egypt and the
Correct.
old Middle East and the trade. That was 1300s, 1400s.
That's what I'm saying.
We knew about slaves then.
Well, if you really think about it, that's my point. When you think about people like Mama Musa or whatever, right? Man Musa, whatever. I always right? I'm just saying he's still on paper considered the richest person to ever fucking live.
Yeah.
African, right?
Yeah, those guys back then.
They're talking about he used to fucking travel the world with 30,000 people.
That's an entourage.
Nobody walking. We talking horses and
Ships
camels and
ships.
right?
Yep.
Right. They say if you would have put his money into shit now, it'd be in the trillions.
Trillions. Yeah, they were trillionaires. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Why don't they teach these kids more stuff?
Because why would you want to empower the people that you enslaved to know that they were better than? Listen, right? If you really want to think about the fact that a lot of black people were already here. Look at the Indians. Look at some of that were here, right? Right? They're black, right? Brown. These people were already here. They stole our land that we were already here. If we tell you that you were kings and queens, if we tell you that you were fucking like you invented math and you did these things, right? Then that means that it empowers you. So we got to keep you down. I don't know,
because I don't think you can change any. I don't think just because 400 years ago, 800 years ago, you had more than what you thought you had, that it's going to change anything now. I don't think it gives you the
100%. 100% it would. If I thought that Mr. Charlie is the master, and come to find out that my lineage, right? Because think about how many people. If I go back, I'm about to do a fucking ancestry, right? I don't even know my right.
You haven't done that before?
I have one at the house. I just haven't done it.
Oh,
right. So even with what's his name, Willie Lynch, right? You know, I'm not, whatever, but I'm just saying Willie Lynch, like the Willie Lynch theory, right? His theory was, right, because Abraham Lincoln was black and shit, right? And
right?
Yeah. People, that's what I'm saying. But people
don't
won't
know
tell you
that.
that. They won't tell you that.
No.
I mean, how many other 6'8" niggas you know, right?
Which is why he was attracted to slaves too.
Correct. Well, I mean, obviously black women beautiful, period, right? But what I'm saying is that.
Well, back then they had a thing. They did a study that like the ones that were him, like off-white, I guess you want to call him. Yeah. They were, for some reason, they were like genetically attracted to
their own kind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? But Willie Lynch, right? Genius. I mean, fucking genius. He's like, yo, this nigga about to fucking free the slaves. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Yo, this nigga's in power. He's about to free the slaves. What we need to do is we need to divide them now so they could forever be divided. So he had a fucking meeting. He brought all the big slave masters from all around. And he's like, yo, we need to divide them now. Right? So what they did was they went back to their fucking plantations or whatever. So me and you are brothers. He sent you to Arkansas, sent me to fucking South Carolina, sent this person here, this, that, and the other, right? However many years later, slaves get freed, right? Boom. Now I have nobody. Right? And I'm fighting for my own, right? So now you're gonna let me work, right? I'm not gonna tell another black person, yo, fuck that, like, yo, they got jobs now, right? So you think about it. He said, yo, if you listen to this, it'll work for at least 500 years. It's still working today. Black people are the most divided ever, but yet together we're the most powerful. So if they taught us that, imagine where we would be. We have to make you feel as if. Right? That's why when one black person goes to college or something, right? I was supposed to go to a gifted and talented school.
I went to a partial one.
But I was supposed to, right? Because I was bored at school. I used to get in mad trouble, right? But I had straight A's, right? You know what I mean? And they was like, yo, he's really smart. I failed that test on purpose. Because in my in my projects, like I would have to put on a uniform on that. Like I would have been right. Like it would have been a problem. Yeah. Like you think you want to be white, right? Like just being smart,
divided,
right?
Ridiculed.
Being smart was an issue where we're from.
That's fair.
You see what I'm saying?
See, I didn't have to.
When somewhere else being smart is the thing, right?
Yeah, I didn't have to grow up like that.
You got people who come from the hood who want to get money to be hood.
To go back to it. They never can get out of it, yeah.
Right? Or was never that But now they got money. They want to beat. See what I'm saying? Because the a law for us is the killing, the right. And then
There's certain,
But
yeah,
when you're somebody
certain
who's a fucking scholar, we're like, oh, that whack ass motherfucker, right? Uncle Tom.
No, I know, I get it. Yeah, I mean, think about but you got 3 boys. They grew up in this neighborhood, in
Correct.
this world,
Correct.
not in the ghetto, not in East Compton, not.
And pull up their playlist and listen what they want to listen to. See what I'm saying? And think right because the law is the opposite, right?
Yeah.
But yet they know better,
They know
right?
not to go act
Yeah.
on it.
right?
Yeah.
And they live here. And the diversity. But you got the people who live fucking 15, 20 minutes from here who live in their grandmama house.
Yeah.
They always been on EBT. They always been right. And
The
they
trailer.
and they don't want nothing better for themselves.
I don't know that necessarily people don't not want something. They just don't know.
That's my point.
They don't know.
And then when they get the opportunity to, they're like, I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
Or why you over there talking to them crackers, right? That's how I get you. Right? Them niggas, but yo, they look at me differently because I talk, right? I talk hood, whatever, but I
Wait a
like,
minute. What about when you go back to New York?
as far as what?
Like, what are the kind of people? What's the neighborhood
When I go to New York,
when you go to New York?
right now, my grandmother moved a long time ago. She passed, right? But when I go to New York, I'm in the projects and shit like that. But people in New York, and God forbid y'all take it a certain way, but people in New York are way smarter than a lot of people. No, we just are.
Smarter
right?
than we give you credit for.
Like, no, I'm just saying, right? Like we articulate, like, you know what I mean? Like, we know shit, right? So when we go other places, like, people think we bougie and we uppity, right? Because we're not.
I don't know. I think people from here at least think that they're like, because y'all know New York. We don't. We just hear New York, and a lot of people don't. Like, I'm educated on it, where I'm like, wait, is he Bronx or is he Yonkers? Like, we know the difference, right?
Well, you got to think about this.
But a lot of people don't know
parts
that.
of the Bronx that are $1 million house just like
Right.
they are in Yonkers.
Yeah, like
I'm from
brownstones.
Queens, right? Where I lived out in Queens.
Oh, well, there's all a bunch of crackers in Queens. So
Listen, my school spoke 27 different languages. It's everything in Queens. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My group of friends was Muslims with turbans and as well as Spanish people, right? That was my group of
you
friends.
got 9
Like,
million people in a 5-mile block. I mean,
I
you're
mean,
gonna
get what I'm saying? It's everything.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. We're way more diverse, right? So when I say like when I say you know, the word nigga or something like that, that doesn't mean anything racist.
no.
You can be a white nigga, fat nigga, tall nigga, right?
Trust me,
Like-
he tells
like-
us all.
Like that's just a word, right? I couldn't even see racism coming from New York.
No, not where you live. No.
See what I'm saying? But I come here and people be like, "Yo, what's up with homie?" Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, when I go to around certain people that's from the South, they be like, "Yo, him, like you think
I
you
had
all that?" Or
I had
something like
asked
that,
John.
man.
I was like, "What's up with you, dog? What's up with him? What's up with the New York guy?"
You know, listen, I know how it is. But see, think about me though, being from New York, how easy I'm approachable too.
Yeah, you're used to, and you don't got a choice in New York of just you got to
You got to figure it out.
Yeah, you got to be a part of people in New York. I didn't come from New York, but I lived on the city line in Baltimore. You can, he's gonna give me shit now. I lived in the burbs,
we
but
know that, yeah,
no, it
we
was the
know.
city line. If I had lived on the next street, the kids that lived on our next circle street, they went to the
Across the
city
train
school.
tracks.
Yeah, it was like my house to your house. That's how far
Yeah,
away.
I
Like
feel
literally, I could just walk across the street, and I hung out with them kids. But they went to the city school because their house address was
Correct.
Baltimore, and mine was the county.
Correct.
And the bus came. It would be like driving from here to my school was probably the highway, like not overpass highway, like 54 highway. That's how far I lived from my fucking school.
That ain't nothing. In New York, I used to have to take fucking a bus and a train. No, seriously, to the school I would go
Uphill
to.
in the snow.
Like, no, but I'm not being funny, right? Like, because it depends on where you was going, right? And then you
Yeah.
had school choice in a sense, right? In New York, it wasn't like you had to go to the school because you went here, right? You know what I mean? So as a young kid, you know what I mean? You were traveling, right? You did a lot of things way early in New York. And people don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you did a lot of things way early, right? You seen things way
Yeah.
early.
Oh, with that many people and that much stuff going on, yeah, stuff's always bound to happen there. We lived quiet. I mean, it was quiet where I lived, but you know, the county that I lived in has gone way downhill since I lived there. I see the stuff, and I'm like, man, y'all live like you're in the city, and you don't understand that 20 years ago when I was in high school, this was the burbs. Like coming from my street all the way to the high school, I'm like, you guys were way in the burbs. You guys should have known.
You know what that's called, right?
Gentrification.
right?
Yeah, well,
So
and
what you do is you bring the property value down.
that was
here.
reverse gentrification.
No,
is what that was.
No. It's exactly gentrification because the areas now that you didn't want to go to before, I bet you amount of money, those are all cleaned up now.
Oh,
And there's a Whole Foods there, right? So you bring the property value
I haven't
down
been
there,
back there.
then you come in and you buy that all up, right?
Yeah.
They have to go somewhere. And then you're done with this area. So now they get to move over there,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they tear that down, right?
They.
Yeah, you know, them.
Yeah, them they.
The people who put the Columbine on your shit.
On my
right here.
TV, which is nuts. I can't believe it just popped up there like maniacs. No, I still follow a lot of my high school friends and family, and I've been back to high school or back to my area twice since I moved here, which was 2005, 20 years this summer actually. And I went for a wedding to one of my really, really good friends, which that's a funny story in itself. But the second time I went back was my high school reunion.
I've never been to a high school reunion.
I did. I went to wait, I graduated in 03.
Fucking Bayside High ass nigga.
No. So our county, so a friend of mine was just the friend I grew up with actually I grew up with his older brother. His older brother apparently like turned really weird. He won't even come down here and visit. He just lives a really odd life. He dated this girl. They had 3 kids. She lives in his basement with her new husband, and you heard that right.
And nobody's in jail yet?
Yeah, no.
She
And so
couldn't be
anyway, so his little brother, who's only
Couldn't
2
be
years
me.
younger, his little brother was always pretty cool. He was the little brother, but he was cool, so we let him hang out. And when he got in high school, his little brother worked out and played sports, so he was kind of like a bodyguard. We're like, yo, bro, this is your duty as little bro. So I've been friends with him now. He's 37, you know. He's got a girlfriend, and they come down and they hung out. I think you might have met him. I don't know. But his mom came down
All
once.
white people look like that.
Yeah, pretty much. But super cool. So he comes down, they all hang out, and he's telling me about, you know, back in the old hood and about all these people. And he's just like, it's fucking garbage. And he's like, I had to move out even further. And his girlfriend, I guess they're going to get engaged soon. She's like Vietnamese, Filipino, and Japanese, but she's white. she's white, but all those things. And she's just like, we ain't even welcome in the county no more. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is Baltimore. She's like, don't come back. She's like, you came back for your reunion. She's like, don't come back again. You
So
just wasted.
people take over, right? And think about this, right? My thing about New York, right? People that live in New York, they're like, I don't never want to go anywhere else, right? And I get it until you see other places.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
And-
when I moved here, it was woo, woo, woo.
And for me, it's like, yo, like I don't miss New York. When I
don't
go
miss
back to
that.
New York, I don't even have to call anybody. I could just show up.
Yeah.
And people's
I could-
on the same fucking corner, eating the same bacon, egg, and cheeses every fucking day.
20 years ago.
Right? The same, doing the same shit. Yo,
Yeah.
you know, such and such.
Yep.
Right? And it's like, yo, and they're like, I don't want to go. Right? Then they come here and they're like, oh my God, it's too slow. It's this, that, and the other. Right? I felt the same way when I first got here too. This is a better way of life.
Yeah.
Right?
I tell all these people, so when I go back there, I sell the same thing. People at the dive bar on the corner, I see them on Facebook still bagging groceries at the grocery
shit.
store. And I'm like, man.
Yo,
And so he comes down here and he sees it and he's like, I really want to move. I want to do something different. And he does okay for himself, and his girl works, and they got a little life.
But
And I'm-
regardless, you can make money here the same way
Right.
you make money there, whether it's
Especially
at working at Publix, whatever, right?
yeah.
It's the same shit.
But what he does can be done anywhere in the world, and what she does sort of can be. And so I'm like, you guys could
oh,
move.
she's white. She can be white anywhere.
Yeah, well, she's Asian white, but whatever. But I tell them, and they come down, they stay for a couple days, they look around, and we look back at Facebook, we look at all these people that we grew up with, and I'm like, man, they're all trash. Like
Trash.
90% of them. The girl's wedding that I went to, super cool girl. She owns three mobile grooming vans for dogs. She fucking kills it. She gets $100 a dog after tip, $75, $100. She does like 10 dogs times 3 vans, 30 dogs. I'm like, but you're doing like $5,000 a day.
Yeah.
God damn.
But that's the thing, right? So
I'm like, why don't you do it here?
So I've been, like I said, I'm from whatever, right? But the opportunities, right? Some people just don't realize the opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Some people would rather stay stagnant, right?
It's weird.
And
I
you'd
don't
be
get
like,
it.
yo, like, buddy, like, yo, you still in the projects cutting people's hair in your living room
Yeah.
when you still ain't get a fucking shop yet? Or
No.
you see what I'm saying? Like
You're doing the same thing over and over.
Same-
Nothing's changing. Yeah.
You know
No.
somebody, right? It's just like, you know how certain things are just instilled in you, right? Like, you know how many people I know who fix cars, who never went to school to fix cars?
They just figured
They
it
just know how to
They
do
figure
it,
it out,
right?
Yeah.
It's just,
I know a
it's
couple
just
people like
weird,
that.
right? You're like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Some people just know how to fucking do it, right?
Yep.
But yet you're like, yo, you still ain't work at Midas or nothing yet? Right? You still here for 2 packs of Newports and an 8-pack of beer?
Yeah. Yeah. Some people aren't. I had a friend that was here. He's lived here his whole life, works on trucks, big trucks, started his own truck company, started driving a truck. He would also fix trucks on the side. He moved to Alabama. Here's the reason why he did it. He's like, I understand. He moved to the country of Alabama. And this is kind of his way. He likes property. But he's like, I understand all the opportunity that's in Florida. He's like, there's people, a lot of competition. I said, there's a lot of trucks, a lot of work. And he's like, yeah, but there's still the same amount of work in Alabama because I'm the only one up there that can do all this stuff where he moved. And he's like, I get 20 acres. He bought a house for like $200,000, which is nuts. And he got like this size house with like 20 acres.
Yeah, of course. I mean, certain places, but but who wants to live there?
Right. Nobody.
I don't have the complexion for the connection.
No, and
I'm not going there.
No, but he's the only one. He's Greek white, and he's the only one. Right? He's like, yeah, that's what. And I'm like, you're the guy that moved out. He is. He makes bomb food too. He moved out. He went up there, and he's
I don't
like,
fuck with no hummus and all that.
no, I do. The red pepper. My God, we haven't talked about food on this podcast.
But we have. You just don't know nothing. You eat no collard greens and no oxtails.
Oh, you guys, you know how much shit I got about not knowing what collard greens taste like? People are like, you don't know what collard greens are? I'm like, I know what they are. I never had them. And if I have, I don't remember it or I don't know. So I can't tell you what they taste like.
The problem is
or what they
how are you
taste like.
Supposed to be diverse in life?
I eat Greek.
And you never had
I eat hibachi.
Collard green.
I eat hibachi. I eat Greek.
Hibachi.
I eat hummus. I eat seafood.
So you ate fucking puffer fish before?
I ate
no. Right. So that's what we're talking about.
What is puffer fish?
The shit
I know what the fish is.
That the fucking Japanese to be
nobody
that
eats
shit.
that.
Yeah, they do.
They eat octopus and squid.
Yo, look it up.
I feel like puffer fish is like that mushy crap that nobody eats. That's like what homeless people eat in Japan. That's what I feel like.
It'll kill you.
Then why would you eat it?
Because they know how to cook it right.
No.
Yeah, some shit like that. I think it's a puffer fish. Look it up.
That can't be right. Alan, pull this up. Kobe, pull it up. Puffer fish for dinner. That's what I'm Googling. Puffer fish for dinner.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they don't eat it at lunch.
What can you eat? I don't know. Puffer fish, known as fugu, is popular and sought after dish in Japan. However, it's crucial to be aware that puffer fish contains a deadly neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin.
Can I just not say all that, man? Why you don't believe me,
which can be fatal. In Japan, only specially licensed chefs are allowed to prepare and serve it, minimizing, not eliminating, minimizing the risk of poisoning.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. Did I just not say that? Listen, B, you know I'm well diverse
this
in life.
This will paralyze your nervous system. Why would you eat this?
I'm well diverse in life.
You're going to be well fucking paralyzed.
I'm not eating that
shit. But the fucking, then why'd you just ask me if I ate it?
Because you wouldn't even eat a collard green.
I don't know if I would.
So
why don't you cook me some?
I don't know how to cook collard greens. My mom
motherfucker gave me a rat's fucking poison hour-long episode about collard greens and can't even make me none.
I don't know how to cook it.
What do you buy it from the store?
Actually, my wife cooked collard greens and it was actually really good.
Can you just buy it off the shelf and cook it?
In a can.
Oh, is that bad? Cans in the bag. Yeah. Wait, how do you get it fresh?
You buy it.
I'm saying, is it in the produce aisle?
Yeah,
can you buy it in the produce aisle?
It'd be like broccoli,
right?
Cabbage, yeah.
So then what? You just throw it in a pot and boil it?
Yeah, but you got to cook it right. You know what I mean?
Butter?
Like, not butter. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. I never had.
No, you boil it a little bit.
Jesus
I'm
Christ,
saying that most people, but then
it
depends on who's cooking it. Some people use pork. My mom don't eat pork, so she used turkey neck bones, smoked turkey neck bones in there and stuff. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's official, man. You get that? Yo, you know what?
On the next episode of the podcast, we're gonna be cooking in the kitchen. We're gonna film from the fucking kitchen, and we're gonna cook some collard greens.
You know what? Fuck that. You're driving an hour for Thanksgiving. You coming to our shit for Thanksgiving.
Collard greens? I never had collard greens in my life. I've never. What else did you guys? You named something else too that I never had.
Yeah, oxtails.
No. Oh, chitlins. I knew what chitlins was, but I never had it. I knew it was pig parts or something, intestines, right?
Yeah, that you can skip if you want.
Okay. No, I'm good. I'm good.
If somebody was cooking chitlins in this neighborhood, you would smell the answer by the mailbox. No, seriously, it's like the worst smell ever. You got like soak them in vinegar and shit for like
worse than the curry in an apartment building.
Way worse.
Way worse. I actually like Indian and curry food. Our neighbor, Harish makes Indian food all the time.
Yeah.
It's good shit. But the smell, if it's trapped and you don't vent it, did you know that he put air vents on his garage? A couple doors down. Harish, you know who Harish is, right?
No.
Harish and Nanya.
I gotta see him.
Indian couple. Anyway, so older. Anyhow, they got 2 vents on their garage, and I said, "Why do you got vents on your garage?" He goes, "Oh, because we bring the curry pot out in the garage to cook and not let it go." I'm like, holy. So
my wife,
when they're cooking curry, I can smell it.
My wife's mom and most of our family, they have the stoves or whatever, like the propane burners, and they cook outside on their porches
Yeah.
because of
Yep.
your whole. I mean, all your clothes, everything would smell like that. Shit,
His backyard is angled towards mine. He's like right at the curve, so it kind of points at mine. If he's out there, I can smell it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can smell the curve. He tries to blow it out over the pond, and I'm like, you just bring the gator up here now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, the gator knows what it is.
Like no, but his food is good. I've eaten his food a bunch. He
So
makes
then what we need to do is get food
and cook it on.
and then fucking do it on the podcast.
Yeah, we
right?
we could. I'm gonna get those stands so we can move the microphones to.
But what do you got for me that I've never had?
Oh, B, I could cook you so much white boy food.
Like
It ain't
what?
even funny.
Like what?
Shit,
You ain't got no
I bet you
culture.
never had
You ain't
4
got no-
cheese stuffed shells.
I have. It's got ricotta, mozzarella. Come
Mozzarella.
on, see some mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
It's
Yeah,
not
come
even an Ella.
That's
It's
Italian.
mozzarella.
Yeah,
See?
it's Italian, but
All
it's
right,
still
so
good.
I already shut you up right now.
I
So
can make
give
you
me
some
something else.
German wiener schnitzels with
I don't know
spicy
about
brown
no schnitzel.
mustard.
Yeah, I'll try a little schnitzel.
Schnitzel?
But I've had a schnitzel before.
Yeah, with the brown gravy and the
yeah.
brown and the spicy mustard. Oh, that's fucking fire! I love that. My family's German, so I know my ancestry. German.
German.
You know,
Oh, shit.
I wore a lot of brown clothes when I was young. I don't know.
For a nigga who says nigga a lot, that nigga says nigga all the time.
Yeah, I can't do that. No.
No, see, I'm saying I've had, like that's what I'm saying, I've had just about
So what?
everything.
What is he not? Oh, Mr. Diversification over here.
Exactly.
He's at it. I'm trying to think. Like, what? My parents used to eat all the German. There's a place down on Bruceby Downs called Dunderbox. It's a German, like a pub, but they have a full menu. They have like Black Forest ham sandwiches. They
I know
have
about Black Forest ham.
schnitzels. Of course you do. And
You know what I mean?
that's Black Forest, like German Black Forest, but not
Forest,
Black and
ham.
Forest.
Shit.
Yeah.
No,
No,
the
but
hard way.
they got the whole blue eye blonde hair menu down there. I'm not
Okay.
even kidding. Like Tony's kid eats good there.
I bet. Well, shit, as long as you don't shoot it up. Anyway,
Yo, oh, that's lagoon stories. We'll have to bring that for
we
another
have to have a
episode.
whole thing. Yo, but I want to talk about this real quick.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna get a microphone stand so we can set it in the kitchen, and then we could cook like live on video, and we got to come up with a menu like.
Well, we won't cook because that takes too much time. But we can bring food.
No,
or
we
have it.
have it ready before
then
we
we'll
start filming.
try,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that'd be a
Together.
good idea. That's a good idea.
So what about this fucking cryptocurrency fucking shit where they kidnapped this motherfucker supposedly?
Speaking of cooking, did you see the second video?
Cook a crack,
Cooking crack in a wheelchair
hanging out,
and an air fryer.
laughing and joking.
Yeah, but he was a torture.
Air fryers that went a long way.
Yeah, but he
He's
was a
cooking.
torture. He was a torture victim.
See?
Did
so
you?
now, so let's talk about it.
Okay, so anybody who didn't hear the backstory, by the way, I got a complaint from one person. They didn't complain, but they just said if we talk about a story that maybe not everybody's heard about, we should give the backstory. Because we talked about Shannon Sharp in the one episode, but somebody didn't know who Shannon Sharp was, which was weird to me because I was like, if you don't know who Shannon Sharp is, like, no, he's not Obama.
But if you're not into sports or
yeah,
something,
you
then
may not
maybe
know.
you're
Okay,
yeah.
so there was this guy he was in New York, right? Was it New York? They were Upper East
It
Side.
happened in New York, but I think he was in Germany or something.
Yeah, he's foreign. Yeah.
Yeah, and they lured him there.
They got him there with
But they were business partners at one point.
Right, they were partners. So it was two guys and this. So the one guy was overseas, and these two dudes were in New York, and there was three total. And
I think it's Italian, my fault.
yeah, it could have been. So they were partners in some cryptocurrency, and apparently they had made a lot of money, like tens of millions of dollars, and they had done really well. And I guess he had control of the passwords, like to
No.
get into the hard drives or
Go
something.
backwards. They all made money together.
Yeah, they all made a lot of money.
They blew through their money.
Right, they went broke.
He has money still.
He has the rest, but they claim that he had some of their money.
Okay.
So anyhow, whatever was left, he had. He had possession of the hard drives or the passwords to get into the wallets, the digital wallets. And so they lured him over to New York.
Mhm.
I don't know what they said to him or if they even know what.
They were friends. So they were like, yo, come to New York.
Just come party or something,
Yeah, come
yeah.
hang out, whatever.
Okay.
So he comes over, la.
And they're living in a fucking $1 million brownstone or some
Size of this
whatever.
shit.
Yeah, East Village, fucking
Mhm.
whatever. And so they're partying it up. And so the story breaks like 2 days ago that they arrested this guy so the dude escaped. He gets out of the place
after like 17 days.
he's been there for a couple weeks, and he's in like no shoes, a fucking robe, whatever. And he gets out. He tells it, call the police. I've been tortured. I've been kidnapped. And the police come. They arrest his business partners, and That's the story. And so like 2 days goes by and I didn't pay much attention to it. So today TMZ drops the video out where they released a video that these guys had taken of themselves in the house. There was like 4 or 5 people in the house and they're partying. And this motherfucker, the dude that was tortured,
he's tied up with like fucking
yeah.
The ties that you put on the fucking Wonder Bread.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna put a screenshot up. I'm gonna put a screenshot.
He's moving in.
His
like,
arms are all.
Yeah, they're like, yo, yeah, you're cooking the crack, and it's in the air fryer, and they're laughing and joking and having a good time, right?
They're partying.
So this seems like a Jussie Smollett, type, right? Oh, they said nigga and threw bleach on me, right? Like something ain't right.
So here's my thought. So he's in this wheelchair. I'm gonna put a screenshot up like while we're doing this, but he's in a wheelchair. He's tied up with like bread ties. His hands are free. Yeah. He's working the air fryer. They're laughing and good time. I think that he come over here and partied, and he was just coming to have a good time. And they're all getting high. They're all fucking idiots. And at the end of it, or somewhere near the end of it, at some point, they said, now you're going to give us all this money and all this passwords and all this shit. And he's like, whoa, that's not why I'm here. And then he ran out and got him in trouble. That's what I think. That he was like, realized they tried to get him high and take advantage of him.
So then what would be the point of him being in the wheelchair with the bread ties?
Because they were just fucking around being high idiots. I don't know.
Right. But then also, why? Well, I'm just saying.
Or they just really suck at kidnapping someone.
Right? And then the torture part, right? So what I'm saying is that like they had to have this, right? Because why escape?
It's so like it's so fucking weird. Like they
Where's
got
the
him,
win-win in this.
They got him over here and got him high and partied. I felt like they
probably thought they was gonna get him high. He was just gonna like be like, yeah, 649, or whatever.
Right. That they were just gonna get this out of him. Here's the crypto. And again, I'll put screenshots up, but it just says, Italian businessman tortured and kidnapped for 3 weeks. The 20-second clip of him cooking crack in the air fryer, which is the craziest fucking thing. You ever think you'd say that line as he was cooking crack in an air fryer?
So when you said nothing's new, an air fryer, right?
Yeah, I mean,
how long have you had air
and frying?
Right. That's true. So I mean, you got to come up with an idea. But the idea of luring somebody from Italy to there, at some point he's laughing and joking, halfway tied up, cooking crack.
Yeah.
In an air fryer. I mean, laughing and joking. It's not like he's like in no kind of distress.
No, not at all.
He ain't got a black eye. Like he's not like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. He's like, yo, right, having a good time. So like, really, maybe later they did try to get it from him and he escaped or whatever. You know what I mean?
So here, law enforcement sources say that he was tortured and forced to smoke the crack while being filmed in order to blackmail him into turning his password over for the Bitcoin wallet worth millions. We're told the suspects allegedly threatened to send the footage to their investors if he didn't provide the password, but he still refused to give it up. What's unclear, though, is why he would be in such a laughing, lighthearted mood 5 days before he escaped. He'd been there 12 days already. He was there 17
already
days.
12 days. And you laughing and joking, talking about something, yo, I'm about to, like, this crack is going to be, remember one person said, oh, this crack is going to be fucking garbage or something. Another one said, yeah, crack is whack. And another one's like, yo, and another dude was like, yo, I don't want to be in this video. Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So none of this sounds like, this is some
weird.
This is some Elizabeth Smart shit.
Yeah, this is some weird shit. It says they're being held on, no bail on kidnapping, assault, unlawful imprisonment, and criminal possession of drugs and a weapon. So they ain't getting out of jail anytime. What are they at? They're at Rikers, or are they at Sing Sing, or?
Oh, they probably at MDC.
Oh, with Diddy. Oh my God, back to Diddy.
You know what I mean?
We got no. By the way, everybody asked. There's no update on Diddy. Same.
How about this?
Same Astroglide day. New Astroglide.
How about this? There is an update on Diddy, and I'm upset.
Oh.
I'm upset.
Call Al. Call Al. He's upset. Black man's upset.
Because at the end of the day,
call Jesse.
Still, all we keep hearing is about him freaking off, right? Everybody who's coming to testify, oh, I had to clean up, period, but I seen this, I see. But where is the coercion? Where is the fucking, where is these things, right? Why are we still talking about Cassie? Yo, and I seen her with a black, that's not what he's on trial
domestic
for.
Assault. That's not
but
what
he's not on trial for, right? No. Again, all that's wrong, yo, prosecute him, do whatever you got to do.
Yep.
But that's not what he's on trial for. If you got me on trial for drug charges, why are we talking about the fact that
Astroglide, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So if the jury,
that means that they really don't have shit on him.
no,
And the shit that they do have on him, they can't say because he has they didn't find. Remember, they raided everywhere
yeah,
all at one time.
L.A., Miami, and
One
got him
time.
in New York. Yeah,
And I think that all the shit that they went to try to go and get, they couldn't find.
yeah.
So now they got to put him away. It's the hold up. It's the Jedi mind trick, right?
It's court of public opinion at this point.
But my point is it's moved out, right?
Yeah,
Just what I'm saying, right? So if I'm in for attempted murder and you talk about how I was fucking, why do I go to jail for attempted murder if you can't prove that?
right. And that's what the jury should work on. But it's going to depend on if they follow the RICO versus, okay, Diddy's a douchebag that punched women and had crazy sex parties, but he didn't do all the rest of the stuff because that don't count. But in the court of public opinion, who are those jurors? How are they going to go in and go?
But everybody,
fuck Diddy. Are
but
they going to go?
everybody
Free
has said
Diddy?
I didn't say anything because I thought he might do something.
Right.
I didn't do anything because he's a scary person and I was scared to do it. Not he said I will do this and right. Nobody had right. So it's the same Jedi mind trick as 9/11, right? The buildings fell.
Full circle.
Hold on, right? The buildings fell, and we was like, yo, Osama bin Laden, right? It was like, I did it, right?
Yeah.
And we was like, yo, fuck Saddam. And we was like, yeah, fuck Saddam. What Saddam had to do with any of it?
Not a goddamn thing.
Right? And we out there in
That was
Iraq,
W.
right? We out there in Iraq. What does Saddam have to do with any of it?
That was W.
W.
W wanted it.
Because his father
Didn't finish it.
right? And then we get there and you find this thing, right? No weapons of mass destruction.
Nope.
He's in a
Hole in the ground.
with Snickers
Yep.
and a golden gun.
That's it.
That's it. This is supposed to be this, right? Then we get rid of him.
And then we still end up going to Afghanistan several years later.
Because that has to do with the whole Cold War from before.
Yep.
Right? See, like the
weapons that we gave them.
That we gave them, right? And they were using them again. Right? See, like I'm not
Conspiracy theories.
No, but I'm not one of those people who don't know. Right? You got some people who just know certain shit, and I'm a person who I'm that I really do like.
Drew's educated.
Like, yeah, I'm a little educated. You know what I mean? Like I got a master's degree. All that. I really study, and like history is my favorite shit ever. And I'm very like English was my favorite subject. Then history, right?
I thought you had a master's in home economics, like collard greens and shit.
I got you know, my shit is more on like niggerism. Right? I got a minor in greens.
In more ways than one. 101.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, right? You have to look at what's going on, right? And then you say, okay, well, we caught.
Yep. We would have been kicked off Facebook for putting all this, by the way, like 4 years ago. Now Mark is Donnie's best friend, but
yeah. I'm just saying, man, you got to be smarter and you have to look outside the box. And that's the thing. So many people just listen to what's being told to them and they don't even look any further.
They call it an echo chamber, yeah.
And you go like, yo, you can't even see like what's going on like right there, right? And like, aliens, I used to see shit all the time. Right?
Oh,
and
the alien thing.
My mother used to tell me, yo, you crazy. You smoke too much weed. You get fucked. And I'm like, no, for real. I swear to God. Then one day, I'm out there. I'm like, yo, look. So she sees it.
Yep.
She's like, yo, I'm call police. I call police.
What are they going to do?
What are they going to do? She calls anyway. I swear to God. Police come.
Emerald.
Police like, yo, ma'am, it's nothing we can do, right? So then the cop was like, yo, man, I'm just let you know, like.
You smoke too much weed?
No, we seen.
We seen it too.
The next day, we had a fucking pamphlet. My mom's got a pamphlet saying that NASA tested a rocket yesterday.
Oh,
nobody else.
Cover story.
Nobody else in my whole neighborhood got this shit. Only us, right? So people said I was crazy, right? Then all of a sudden, 5, 6, 7 years later, they're like, "Yeah, we've been to about innocence since 1939." So now, I wasn't crazy then, right?
It's all over now.
Until they tell you, right?
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, right? And what can you do when you got cameras everywhere? Now you can't lie.
You can't deny it as much as before. I keep wanting to watch it, and I haven't watched it yet. I have to. The TV's on mute right now, so it's fine. But Netflix has a documentary. This has got to be out of your area too, because this was out of Queens. It's called The Alien Abduction of Something. And a girl was kidnapped out of her apartment in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was the 90s or something, right?
Before you said that, you ever seen Fire in the Sky?
Mm-mm.
Okay, watch that movie.
It was called the Manhattan Alien Abduction, right? And so this woman, Linda Napolitano, was picked up out of her top floor Manhattan apartment, like 90s, maybe the late 80s, early 90s. She ended up on Oprah, and
People thought she was crazy.
people thought she was crazy, but 37 different phone calls went into 911 because of a woman floating over the building with lights and what they thought was more lights like way above her, and all over the city, from
Correct.
everywhere. People that didn't know each other,
Correct.
not related, and she happened to be like friends with a lady that was dating a guy that would make books about alien sightings, and he was all into this real big, and he was an investigator. At some point, I think he ends up getting like thrown in jail or something. Of course,
Sounds right.
he breaks up with the girlfriend. He starts dating the woman that got abducted. And people start going, oh, they did it to sell books. They did this. And they're like, well, at the time, they didn't know each other.
But
They didn't know each
but
other.
the 37 people
Yeah.
across everywhere.
All made that up.
What was their motivation?
Right. So this is, it's called the Manhattan Alien Abduction. It came out in December. I haven't watched it yet. I started one and I fell asleep. It's only like
So
half
I
an hour.
want to watch and see when this was, right? But this is a movie that I went to go see a long time ago. It came out like 90 something. It's called Fire in the Sky. And
No,
it's
I haven't seen that.
It's about these fucking like these two dudes, or maybe it might have been four of them. And they're in this rural place, whatever, the hunting or some shit, right? And they see these lights, they go there, they get abducted, they come back like fuck, they're missing for like a week or two. They
Jesus.
show up fucking butt naked, places, right? Like fucking with all this goo and shit on them, right? And they're telling the same story, like, yo, we got abducted, like, yo, the aliens look like this, they did that, right? And everybody thought they were crazy, right? And like that's what I'm saying. Like, why? For one, the movie comes out.
Yeah.
They got to tell you, right? That's the key.
Yeah. They got to let you know.
They got to tell you, right? What makes an alien look like an alien, right? Why do we know what an alien, right? Who made up what an alien looks like?
Right. Because they
Right.
always give the same
Same
description.
right?
Yeah.
But then when you look at the Greys, if you ever like look that, right?
Yeah.
It's all right there. Reptilians,
Yep.
right? Like, how do we know this then?
Somebody had to see him.
When
Well,
you look at the hieroglyphics in the fucking pyramids, they show reptilians.
yep.
Right?
November 1989. She
89.
was on Oprah in 90.
So these dudes, I think it was in the 70s or something this happened to. You don't think this has been happening?
Of course. There's all the way back to after the Roswell crash in the 1930s. After that happened, that they had people seeing stuff and being abducted. There was one in Jersey on the Jersey Turnpike that the people were driving. Their radio went out. It was like the 40s
Same
or
shit.
50s.
That's what happened to them.
And then they weren't on the road anymore. And they came back on the road driving again, and like 8 hours had passed. Like they was in the middle of the night, and then the next was the morning. That shit's crazy. Where
Exactly.
I'm like, why would they just pull that story? In the 1940s, people didn't act like they act now. People do it now for Twitter likes, but back then they didn't have a motivation to really do it.
That's the point. But if you were to tell, right, let's say Roswell, if you were to say, yo, last night, an alien plane crashed right here, an alien spaceship crashed here, you understand the panic,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So you have to lie, right?
Yep.
Now with people seeing things and seeing things more, now you can go like, okay, you know what? Yeah,
Maybe
we
there's a little
have
something, yeah.
seen shit, right? Because you have to ease that in, right? But yet during all of that, you got the fucking movies that's telling
Yep.
you it all the time.
yep.
Nobody just didn't come up with Star Trek on their own.
No, this lady had 22 witnesses plus 2 bodyguards of a world leader that was in New York for a business thing.
And they all lied.
They were outside of the building doing security, and they witnessed it. I'm like, all these people made this stuff up.
Listen,
That's crazy.
some people just privy to certain things. When I tell you I've seen things in the sky more than 10 times, I would never lie to you.
10. That's crazy.
More than 10. And I'm talking about you just watching, you like, yo, right? And it's like green, and then it's like blue, and it's like red, and it's going like this. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. Right? And you're like, yo, and somebody look at you like, you crazy. And I'm like, yo, I'm telling you.
And
like,
it's not an airplane. It's not like
Yeah,
a
you could
fighter
tell.
jet. Yeah.
You can tell.
No.
I mean, the way it moves, right? You can tell. And like I said, the colors, and like I'm saying, like nothing in the world that you know in the
Does
sky
that.
could be here and then here,
Yep.
then here, and then gone, right? And I'm just saying, right? Like, and who in their right mind, these are the people I hate, that say, we're Earth and we're in one solar system. But then this solar system is in one galaxy. But there's infinite amount of galaxies. Infinite.
Oh, for sure.
And this is it?
Yeah, we're the only ones.
Podcasting, drinking fucking Ultra.
Yeah.
This is it. And all of us, this is everything.
Nothing else.
There's nothing else? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Nope.
Really?
No one.
Really?
No, I get. You're right, and I think the whole thing boils
Really?
down to you're right. Where you remember those dumbasses? That comes out June 11th, by the way. The Titan disaster.
Yeah.
No, but it's like you're right. In the 30s and 40s, people would have lost their shit. But nowadays, and like you said earlier, cameras, witnesses, people. You can't just keep deny.
But
when there's
also
that much stuff.
movies.
Movies.
It eases it, right?
Yep,
It
yep.
eases certain things. So you could be like, well, maybe that could be possible, right? See what I'm saying? You can't just throw it out one day.
Yep.
You got to ease them into it.
Yeah, touche. I'm gonna leave that one though, because that one will be out June 11th. So the next, when you get back, you're gonna be out of
Yeah,
town.
just hit the
when
fucking thing.
when you get back,
for the reminder,
we'll
so
be
you know.
watching, or I'll have watched that one or whatever. It's about the Titanic submarine that
Yeah.
imploded. I can't wait to talk about. I want to see that. I know he controlled it with a video game controller, but I want to see what that done.
I'm just saying.
I don't know a lot about it. But
Have we been to the moon?
I have always been, cancel me if you want. I've always been a believer that we did.
Okay.
And here's my thought on this, but
Okay.
I've been changing recently, and I'll tell you why. So the normal argument for people for or against this is we had to come up with something to beat the Russians. Like we couldn't lose to the Russians because that would have been a huge baboof. Like we would have been in like Cold War mania, even worse.
Which still stands today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people say, okay, let's just go out on a limb and say we didn't. Let's just assume we didn't go. But that would also mean the Russians probably couldn't have made it. And the Russians didn't want to admit that they couldn't make it because that would have looked bad on them. Look, turning point, the Cold War. See that? Fucking TV.
Well,
So it's gonna throw.
who else has been there?
Stepped on the moon? Walked on the moon? Us, supposedly. Us? Just us and the Russians? That's it, right?
Right? Think about this, right?
That's just two, yeah. Nobody
So-
else walked on the moon.
We get to the moon, right?
Cocaine air?
We get to the moon, right? Yet there's a nigga there who videotapes somebody getting off. How did he?
Get there before. Right. No, I get it.
Right? That's one. Then you call the president.
Yeah.
Call
Nixon. Yeah. But,
Hold on.
but we don't got
Call,
cell phones.
like, call
but we don't got
from
cell phones.
fucking the moon. Like, yo, he's on a landline.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what's up? Y'all made it? That's
Yeah.
what's up, man. You like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, get the fuck out of
We
here,
couldn't-
man.
we just had this talk about
But
cell
yet we
phones.
never been back. And then they say, well, because we
Yeah.
lost the technology. Hold on. Niggas is cracking air fryers.
We can't
But we
replicate.
can't replicate that to get back there.
Yeah.
But yet we watch every fucking rocket go up. They
Yeah.
can't get there.
No, they keep failing. All those rockets
They
fucking
can't
come crashing down.
get
No.
there.
I-
Have you
I-
I'm saying, have you watched any of them from
Oh, yeah.
your backyard?
Absolutely.
What
I've
do
seen
they
it in
do?
the lagoon. Yeah.
If you're on TV, you see this, and then that's it.
Yep.
If you're sitting here, you watch, and then after a while,
You see it start coming
you
back.
see it coming back
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
They can't get there.
Yeah. I always I've never been like I just believe what everyone said, but as I was growing up, I'm like, oh, cool, the moon. When I got older, I was like,
Didn't
no.
happen.
And now I'm like, yeah. Now I feel like what would be the loss? What would be the negative if the U.S. came out and said we never made it?
Because that would show that we were inferior. We were trying to say that we were the smart, right? Yeah,
50
but
years
you
ago.
can't say it now because it never make your government a fucking lie. That would mean you lie straight to our face, right? Why has nobody else been? Listen, China. Why has nobody else been like, yo, fuck them? They lost technology. Why they ain't go?
Yeah.
Why they ain't go?
Because they couldn't either.
Nobody could get there.
Yeah.
Nobody can get there, right? If you think about it, right, they say it's a dome.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. But I know that nobody ain't been up there. Nobody ain't really show, right? Think about this. Fucking MGM, not right, MGM or whatever, right? What's their logo?
The lion?
All right, so who is it I'm talking about then? Who has a logo of the Earth?
Oh, 21.
It's not 21st century, is it?
Movie. Hold on. I'll tell you. Movie company. I think it's somebody's gonna say it on it. Universal. Universal's got it.
Now look up when Universal came up with that logo.
Universal logo. The Earth. What year? What was it made? I would say probably the 50s, maybe earlier.
So that means we haven't been to the
1920s.
1920. So we've never been there. So how the hell they had a fucking picture of what the Earth looked like then if we didn't even know what the Earth would look like if we was in there? That's crazy, right? But think about what I'm saying.
No, you're right.
How
do they
could you?
know?
How would you have a perfect picture of what the Earth like if we've never been there yet, but yet they had that picture already?
Yeah.
See,
No.
what I'm s-
It's all pretty suspect. It's
Right?
pretty sus.
see, this is what I'm saying when I say my mind goes deeper than other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I-
And people,
I
and people
take
think
all
about
this-
aliens and they say, "Oh, they look at the sky. Maybe it's not the sky. Maybe it's the ocean." We've only explored what 12%.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if it's over 10. But yeah, I think about I don't believe anything the government tells us. I think they lie to us. And the moon was one thing where I was like, but now even more so than just tonight where I'm like, yeah, it's been weeks and weeks and months that I've been hearing more and more about, like, people have been ramping that up lately. And I'm like, yeah, chances we win is pretty fucking slim. Like, it just
I'm
doesn't
just saying,
make sense.
at the end of the day, why would you be able to
Yeah.
go
And then not go back.
with that shit, right?
And not
with,
go back.
with the fucking cardboard box that we went with back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
And yet we got self-driving cars and all kinds of shit. Yet we can't get back,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
At all.
No.
And you lost the technology. The
You don't ever
technology
lose technology.
ever. And then the technology is way more advanced now.
Oh, for
So
sure.
how do you not be able to do it in better, right?
And if
And
they
better.
wanted to prove the point, if they were they'd go build a rocket, send people to the moon. Because what's the big deal, right? If it's no big deal, go do it. Let's just see it.
Let's do it again.
Let's send an astronaut up there for a week.
And then why do you make the movie with your boy from fucking Magic Mike? What's his nickname?
Oh, Channing Tatum.
You seen that movie, right?
Passengers? Is that what it's
No,
called?
it's a movie about the whole fact that they was like, yo, we're gonna make a video and make sure that they think that we fucking
How do I not know
they
this?
have to put what they have to put it right in your face.
How do I not know this?
It's like it's called fuck, we look it up.
Now I'm looking it up again.
Watch that movie.
It's called Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly Me to the Moon. It's about the whole fact that they made, right, a whole video to make sure that we had, right, and they were like, yo, show the video. And supposedly they didn't. They showed the real moon landing, right?
Man, Scarlett Johansson. I like her.
Think about this. Apollo 13, right? That's the one that blew up?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the fact that all them niggas still alive?
No. Apollo 13 was the one that got stuck and they had to bring back.
What's the one
That blew
what?
up on the ground?
that went up and blew
the
up?
Challenger.
Look that up. Yo, all of them are still alive.
The teacher and,
All
the,
of the
and the
teachers-
black guy and
Yo,
the
all of them, every single person.
hold on. No way.
Look it up.
This he's gonna have me awake until fucking I don't even
This
know.
is what I do. I be up till 5 in the morning. Right? I be looking shit up, and and I put my own thoughts in. Right? You know what I mean? Nobody's telling me this.
What I don't know. Astronauts confronted years after faking their death in the rocket explosion. At least 6 of the 7 Challenger space shuttle disaster crew members have been found hiding in plain sight.
Plain sight. Doctors, fucking teachers, all that. The same exact people.
Fact check. NASA astronauts killed in 1986 Challenger crash. Reuters, of course, Reuters, mainstream media, are not secretly alive. The NASA astronauts that were killed in the 1986 midair explosion have been contrary to recurring online claims that the disaster was faked and that the Challenger crew members are alive, or that the Challenger was empty. They sent it up empty.
So they show how when you go into the thing that there's a tunnel or whatever, right? That you come out in case there's something like a failure or something like that. So they probably just came out that it was empty, right? But you can look at the faces and all that. It's the same exact people, right? Then you had some people that were like fact checkers, right? They would run up on people and be like, "Yo, prove you landed on the moon, right? And they're like, yeah, we landed on the moon. They're like, yo, put your hand on the Bible. People were running from them. Running, they would not do it. Buzz Aldrin himself was like, yeah, we never did it.
Yeah, I think one of them, big ones, came out finally and was
Right?
like, no, we didn't do it.
We never did it. Then people was like, oh, we seen it on TV. He was like, no, you didn't, because it was on the radio. You didn't have TV. What are you talking about?
No, we didn't have TV.
You didn't even see it, homie. You lying.
People are just saying like it's all speculation.
Yeah, you talking about people.
Yeah, Reuters posted.
If
And
you
everybody's like, well, we know it exploded, but that doesn't mean they were
Doesn't
on
mean
it.
it was on it, right?
Yeah,
but I'm
they
just saying, right? Then they hide in plain sight. If you pull up the astronauts on there, they all still there. Same as that people, babe.
Yep.
Right in your face. That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. January 28th, 1986, yeah. And then they had 7 more die in the 2007 or 9 or whatever one it was. Columbia, yeah.
But
I was into those.
But yet we made it to the moon.
But we made it to the moon.
50, 20, 30 years later, we
can't
can't even make it to Alaska from here because it blows up. But yet we made it. Stop it, man.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Stop it.
Squid Game final season coming June 27th. I love Squid Games. I love me Squid Games. We're gonna oh yeah, a couple more weeks for that. We got something to watch for June. We better get some good stuff coming out for hurricane season. We gotta talk about that in the next episode.
Don't be bringing that shit up.
No, we got 2 months. You're good. All right, let's wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Yo, we missing one part.
J Dub
what I mean?
not here.
But
Titan Ocean Gate.
he's still here.
He's here.
So
he's here in spirit because that motherfucker's asleep in bed.
yeah,
No, he's asleep in his chair because his wife don't let him snore upstairs.
We still in sync. We didn't break up.
We'll get a calendar because I got to get the date that Drew's gonna be back, and then we'll figure out the following day after that. So I'll get this posted tomorrow.
Yeah, and then next week we don't. And for people who are local, please know that at the Lagoon, Epperson Lagoon, June 28th from 4 to 8, I'll be DJing.
Yeah.
Please come support me. When you get to the front door, let them know you're coming to see me.
Drew Dog, yeah.
You
He
know what I mean?
he might get asked to come back.
I don't know. I will be asked because I do my thing.
He does.
Trust
He cranks it out.
I'm a good DJ.
And he better bring some crawfish cooked and some collard greens for me to eat.
See how white people talk to you? I better. What are you talking about? You better have some crawfish for your birthday party you asking me to come to.
You ain't gonna be here, so motherfucker.
I am going to be here. You said you were going to do it on a Sunday.
When you come back?
Yeah, you said you was having your party.
I know. When do you come back?
I come back on the 8th.
Oh, all right. He'll be here. Cool.
And remember, her grandma's, her aunt's birthday is Saturday.
Is she a woo woo woo? No, she's a dot.
Well, of course, she's a dot.
All right. We're going to wrap. We'll tell John all about this fun time. He's going to have good. See, it's going to be hilarious. John's going to get to watch this and not know what's being said and have to watch too.
Hey, listen, man. We love y'all, man.
Yeah.
Please, yo, just hit the subscribe button.
Yeah. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, it takes one click.
And please, and we taking all kinds of suggestions.
Yes.
Anything. If you don't like something,
Put
say
it in
you
the
don't
comments.
Like it.
Yeah.
If you like something, say you like something. Please.
Put it in the comments. It's the only way we know. Comment. And those comments, they do help engagement. It helps other people be able to find it and watch it too. So if you just leave a comment, not only can we take your suggestions, we can get some more views and get more people in here and get some more fun going on. So,
and if you fuck with us, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah, that's number one. One friend to tell a friend. And also, we're going to have guests. We're going to have guests soon. I've got another set of mics. I'm going to get those stands. We're going to have guests. So we'll start expanding it. But yeah, tell us what you want to see. We're going to do the cooking episode because I'm excited. I'm going to try some collard greens live on video.
And you're going to love it.
All right.
Next thing you know, you're going to be collard green. Now you're going to be feeding. Right now, we got to wean them off collard greens and shit. We got to put them on cabbage one day. Right? Cauliflower. We got to go back
Schnitzels.
white. Yeah. We got to go all the way back white. Go get the greens. We got to start doing white veggies for them and shit. No yellow corn, white corn. Yeah, it's going to be out of control.
Sounds like my dog's diet right now.
Yeah, just make sure your blood pressure don't go up.
Yeah.
Yo, at the end of the day, if you can't be good,
be good at it. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. And love for John.
Yeah, love for John.
Peace.